Crusaders number 32, Dylan Dunn. The head coach of Alvernia is Yogi Lutz, assistant coaches John Amara, Todd.
Howdy folks, Harrison Swartz here with you for Game 7 of the 2017 Mid-Atlantic Regional Baseball Tournament here in York, PA. People's Bank Park. Top-seeded Hopkins, Johns Hopkins, number 4 in the country according to the coaches poll, number 2 in the D3Baseball.com poll, come in 37-6, fresh off a trouncing of Leslie University yesterday. They won 15-2. Alvernia got here, they're getting 4th seeded RIT 8-4. They are 29-13-2 on the year. Tonight, the first winner's bracket game. It's game 3 today. We've had a 15-inning game today. We've had a 40-minute rain delay followed by a fairly quick ball game, but this game was supposed to start at 4:30. Now we're approaching 6:30. Dylan Dunn is on the mound for the Crusaders tonight. Here's the Blue Jay lineup real quick, 1 through 9. As
he is finishing up his warm-up tosses. Connor Reynolds gets things started. The senior is at short. Brian Lynn will bat second and play right. He's followed by Mike Smith at third base and Ryan Orgallevich DHing today. Tommy Mee is out in center field. John Hayden will bat sixth and play left. Alex Darwich, who DH'd yesterday, will take care of the catching duties and bat seventh. Mike Eberly moves up one spot, will play second base and bat eighth. And Joe Conlon, a senior first baseman, rounds out this Blue Jay lineup. Dylan Dunn making his 8th start of the year. Just over 42 innings of work. He's allowed 29 hits, 16 runs, 13 earned. He is 3-1 with a very impressive 276 earned run average. Opponents hitting just 195 against the righty. 30 strikeouts, 8 walks on the year. Well, it looks like he has done his warm-up tosses, and we are about to get underway here in York. Again, the first of 2 winter bracket ball games this evening. The other one, Shenandoah, will take on Wheaton following this one. So Connor Reynolds will stand in. Connor on the year hitting .383, good for second on the team for Johns Hopkins, only behind Ryan Orgallevich, who's hitting .388. First pitch to Connor. Right there at the knees for a strike, and we are underway at 6:27, nearly 2 hours after the scheduled first pitch. Connor starting his 40th game of the year. Missed a few games with a hamstring issue down in Florida. Fouls this one out of play on the right side, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes. Dylan Dunn, a two-way guy for the Crusaders, has a .310 batting average on the year. He was a second teamer at third base in the MAC Commonwealth Conference. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Upstairs, Reynolds went too far. He's down on 3 pitches. Home plate umpire Lou Kammermeyer makes the call himself. And Dunn makes easy work of Connor Reynolds. 1 away. Brian Lynn will stand in with 1 out. Dunn, a junior from Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, stands at 5'11", 190. Here's the first pitch to Brian Lynn, fouled back my way and over our head in the press box. 0-1. Dunn listed as a utility guy. But again, that second teamer at third base. Now you lose your third baseman when you put him on the mound. Starting at third base is Kyle Gaynor today for the Crusaders. Gaynor only making his 13th start of the season. We'll get you the Crusaders defense here momentarily. Brian Lynn, the switcher, hitting from the left side against Dunn. This one low. That's the first ball that Dunn has thrown. Left to right in the outfield for Alvernia, Franco Esposito, Colin Rieger, and Ben Dubas. Kyle Gaynor at third base, Nathan Sides at short, Mike Cirilli at second, and Matt Briner is at first base. Lynn just gets a piece of this. It's fouled to the backstop, and he's behind 1-2. Steven Carbonara is behind the plate for Alvernia. He's making just his 6th start of the year. The 1-2 to Lynn. Breaking ball, line to left center field. That's a base hit. Man, oh man, does Brian Lynn love hitting at this stadium. Brian had 10 hits in 2015 here. He already has 4 hits in the 2 games in 2017. Now Mike Smith will stand in. Blue Jays hitting .307 as a team, 458 hits on the year. They recorded their 100th double as a team yesterday. First pitch to Mike. Fastball outside, 1-0. The rest of the umpires for today, Mr. Dave Snyder, the crew chief, is at first. Mr. Dan Miller is out at second. And Mr. Paul Thompson is at third. Big hole on the right side as Matt Briner holds on the runner at first. Alvernia middle infield in double play depth. Lynn takes off for second base. Here's the throw. It's a called strike. And the throw to second base not in time. Comes in on a hop, and Lynn slides around the tag, picks up a stolen base. That's the Jays' 53rd stolen base on the year, and for Brian, his 12th. 1 behind Connor Reynolds for the Blue Jay team lead. So now a 1-1 count to Smith and a man in scoring position. Briner comes off the bag. He'll play straight up at first base. Pitch to Mike. Ground ball down the line at third and under the glove of Kyle Gaynor. Bob Babb's going to wave home Brian Lynn, and no throw from Esposito. It goes to second base, in fact. The Blue Jays take a 1-0 lead here in York. Boy, there you go, the inexperience of Kyle Gaynor at third base, your normal third baseman on the mound. And Mike Smith goes that way, and the Blue Jays will strike first. That one ruled a hit. The Blue Jays have 2. Well, yesterday, the Jays pumped out 20 hits against Leslie in that 15-2 rout. In steps Ryan Orgallevich. Couple looks back to second from Dunn. And the pitch coming home will miss low and away. 1 ball and no strikes. There's an RBI for Mike Smith as well. Picks up his 34th of the year. Second baseman Mike Cirilli playing near the bag at second, trying to keep Mike close. Now he retreats to second, and the throw home is a bit inside. 2-0 the count to Ryan. Now Ryan enters today with a 6-game hitting streak. 13 for 24 during that stretch. 6 runs, 7 RBIs, a couple of home runs. Yesterday, he had a 2 RBI single in that 3-run third inning that gave the Blue Jays the lead. The turning point in yesterday's ball game, Hopkins did not look back. In fact, they kept pulling away. It was the 3rd time this year the Jays scored 15-plus runs. 2-0. And Ryan crushes one here, deep left center. Back is Rieger. He looks up. That ball is gone. Out towards the playground. Ryan Orgallevich hits his 11th home run of the year. And for the senior, that's his third career home run in an NCAA regional tournament. Hopkins on top 3-0. Oh, he got a 2-0 fastball, jumped all over it. That's his second career home run here at Peoples Bank Park. Hit one against Catholic back in 2015. That third regional home run came against Worcester in Washington, PA last year. 45th home run for Hopkins this year, one shy of their 2016 total. Tommy Mee stands in, gets a big curveball, and fouls it off at the dish. 0-1. So after the Connor Reynolds strikeout on 3 pitches, Brian Lynn singled, Mike Smith singled Brian home, and then Orgallevich goes yard. 0-1 count to Tommy Mee. Here's the pitch. He'll bounce one left side. Shortstop sides is there, and it's under his glove into left. Tommy Mee will reach. That will more than likely go down as an error. Well, Sides commits his 12th error of the year. That's the team lead. Dunn would be the next closest to him at 6. But this ball club, pretty good defensively, has committed just 53 errors this year, good for a .965 fielding percentage. Let's see if Hopkins can make Alvernia pay for that error now. John Hayden will stand in. Get his first look at Dylan Dunn. Out of the stretch, he goes to first base, and Tommy Mee is back in. Well, Hayden hitting .265, 3 home runs on the year, 20 RBIs, and his first season, really, as a starter for Bob Babb. Got the start in left yesterday, back out there today. This one fouled back to the screen, 0-1. Well, in the ball game yesterday, John started off 0 for 2, and then in his third at-bat against Tom Muratori, the starter for Leslie, coming in the 5th, hit a double and then came in to score. And later in the ball game, he was replaced by Tim Kutcher when the score was out of hand. Bob Babb got everybody in the ball game yesterday. Not often you see that in an NCAA regional. But Hopkins put up 15 runs against Catholic here in 2015. 0-1 count to Hayden, Mee at first base. And now time called by Hayden, granted by Kammermeyer. Hopkins entered today with a 20-game win streak. We mentioned yesterday it was the longest in D3 baseball. That hasn't changed. Now it looks as though crew chief Dave Snyder calls time and goes over to talk to the Hopkins bench, maybe try to calm them down. 0-1 to Hayden. Breaking ball outside. Carbonara looked like he was going to throw to first base, but decided to hold on to that baseball. A 1-1 count to the senior left fielder. Hayden starting his 23rd game this year. 30th game he's appeared in. Pitch coming home, fouled back to the screen again. 1-2. So we mentioned before the game started about the day here in York. We had that Leslie RIT game at 10 a.m. That went 15 innings. A game-tying 2-run shot by RIT in the 9th, sent it to extras, and that game lasted about 4 hours. Leslie, the 8th seed, came out on top, 6-5, a walk-off sacrifice fly. Mee takes off for second base here. The throw is high. Throw to second base. Not in time. It skips in again, and the Blue Jays are 2 for 2 in stolen bases here in the first inning. Another man in scoring position for the Blue Jays. The count even up 2 balls and 2 strikes on John Hayden now. Hayden on the year, 20 RBIs. Blue Jays lead 3-0. 4 straight men have reached since the Connor Reynolds strikeout. 2-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Hayden very late on that fastball, coming in at 88 miles per hour. Second strikeout for Dylan Dunn. He has 32 on the year. Alex Darwich will stand in now. DH'd yesterday. Alex picked up a couple of hits, drove in a run and scored. Now today he's catching. On the year, Darwich hitting .265. He has himself 3 home runs, 1 career in an NCAA regional. Against lefties on the year, he's hitting .282, 11 hits, 11 for 39. Tommy Me out at second base. Blue Jays looking to capitalize on that error. Curveball hits him, and down to first base goes Darwich. 67th time a Blue Jay batter's been hit by a pitch this year. They'll have 2 on for the freshman Mike Eberle. Well, last time out for Dylan Dunn on the mound was April the 23rd, nearly a month ago. He pitched at Stevenson, went just 3 1/3 innings that day, his worst outing of the year. First pitch to Mike Eberle, swing and a miss. That fastball at 87, 0-1. And that day he gave up 5 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned. Walked 3 and struck out just 1. Also hit 3 batters that day. He's hit 5 on the year now after that Alex Darwich hit by pitch. All 5 coming in his last 3 outings. Another fastball, another swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Entering that game, he had a 1.62 ERA, and it jumped up to 2.76. Well, right now it's jumped again to 3.35 after 3 runs here in the top of the first. Look back to second. Now the 0-2. And that fastball is upstairs. Eberle lays off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. His last win on the mound came at Albright on April the 15th, going 7 innings that day. And his lone loss this year came against Kane University back on March 17th, going 7 innings in a 1-0 victory for Kane. Eberle moving up 1 spot in Bob Babb's lineup today. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. On 4 pitches, Dylan Dunn strikes out the side, but the Blue Jays pick up 3 runs in the process, including a 2-run blast from Ryan Orgallevich, his 11th of the year. We'll take a short break and come right back for the bottom of the first. Johns Hopkins on top, 3-0. Back here in York for the bottom of the first, Harrison Swartz with you. Jays lead 3-0. Crusaders coming to bat for the first time today, trailing, looking to respond from the Blue Jays' big top of the first. Nick Bodner will be on the mound for Hopkins. It's his first regional roster. It's his first regional start. 10th start of the year, 49 innings. He's a perfect 5-0. He works entirely out of the stretch, comes home. His first start is underway with a fastball low to Colin Rieger. Rieger hitting .288 on the year, 9 RBIs. There's a fastball at the knees for a strike, 1-1. After Rieger, it'll be Mike Cirilli, Nathan Sides, Ian Schaefer, Matt Briner, Ben Dubas, Franco Esposito, Steven Carbonara, and Kyle Gaynor. This one hit towards the gap in left center and down for a hit. It rolls to the wall. Tommy Mee gets to it quickly, fires it back in. A leadoff double for Colin Rieger. Nice start for the Crusaders offensively. Bodner on the year, a .257 earned run average. Opponents hitting just .235 against the junior from Tierra Verde, Florida. That's the 8th double he's allowed this year. The only 2 other extra base hits, a couple of home runs. 45 hits allowed, 16 runs, 14 earned. His strikeout to walk ratio, phenomenal. 44 strikeouts, just 6 free passes. In steps Mike Cirilli. He hits a breaking ball in the outside corner at 81. 0-1 the count. Now the Blue Jays second in D3 baseball in strikeout to walk ratio. Their team ERA, 3.02, is good for 8th. Bunt shown, he pulls back. Another breaking ball misses upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Defense behind Bodner. Left to right in the outfield, a trio of seniors, John Hayden, Tommy Mee, and Brian Lynn. In the infield, left to right, Mike Smith, Connor Reynolds, Mike Eberle, and Joe Conlon. And behind the plate today, Alex Darwich. Look back to second. Now the 1-1 offering. Bunt shown again. It's up in the air. Darwich looking back. He trips over his mask, but I don't think he would have caught up to it, and it falls to the field. So new life for Cirilli, and the count goes to 1-2. Cirilli, a freshman from Ramsey, New Jersey, getting his first taste in regional action this week. Solid start for him yesterday, going 2 for 5 at the plate. And he did strike out twice and hit into a double play. 1-2 count. On deck, Nathan Sides. Pitch coming, breaking ball, reached for and chopped foul to the backstop. A nice job by Cirilli to stay alive. Kind of threw the bat out at that pitch. Enters today with quite a lengthy hit streak going on right now. 9 straight games. During that stretch, 6 multi-hit performances, 3 home runs. Out at second base today, he was an honorable mention in the MAC Commonwealth. Alvernia had 10 all-conference honorees. Told you yesterday, Hopkins had 7. Each led their conference. 1-2. Reached for again. Tapped foul at the plate. We'll do 1 ball and 2 strikes again. Well, Bodner's last outing came on May 6th in the Centennial Conference Tournament. Came in the second round against Haverford, Hopkins' big rival. Went 7 innings in his first career postseason start. Couple looks back to second. Now he comes home. The 1-2 is popped up foul right side, giving Chase Conlon. That one, though, up near the bullpen, bullpen balcony up there in foul ground. And again, 1-2. Cirilli in a battle here with Nick Bodner. But that day against Haverford, 7 innings, 5 hits, just 1 run. And that 1 run was a home run. It came off the bat of the 9-batter, Owen Plambeck. 3 strikeouts, a couple of walks that day, non-decisioned. And another foul ball. Bodner already at 10 pitches. Bodner himself was a Centennial Conference honorable mention. He's had quite an interesting career at Johns Hopkins. In his first season, freshman year, he didn't pitch one inning. Command issues kept him from the mound. Another breaking ball here, landing in the left-handed batter's box. No foul ball there, but a ball. The count goes to 2-2. Now last year, Nick threw just 5 innings all year. And in those 5 innings, he gave up 8 runs, 7 of them earned, struck out 6 and walked 7. Again, he had command issues. This one grounded right side. Joe Conlon down to one knee, fields and steps on the bag himself. One away, down to third base goes Colin Rieger. So Cirilli does the job, moving him towards third. He's 0 for 1, but a productive at-bat. Heart of the order coming up for Alvernia now. One away. And last year, opponents against Bodner, in his 6 relief appearances, hit .421 against him. And coming into this year, the coaches thought he'd be a spot starter guy, maybe long relief. This one will bounce in, blocked by Darwich, 1-0. But he's really surprised his coaches. All of his appearances this year have been starts. His first one this year, he went 5 innings back on February the 26th. Nasty breaking ball swung on and missed. Darwich keeps it in front of him, and it kind of rolls up the third baseline a good 10 or 15 feet. Nasty pitch there. Count goes to 1-1. So in that outing against SUNY New Paltz back in February, he tied his career high in innings. His career total, in fact, struck out 6 that day. That was his career total as well entering the season. 1-1, low and inside, 2-1. And he began his career 3-0. In fact, now that I look at his game log, this is not his first career start here in York. Different stadium, of course. He started a game at York College this year. Lined the opposite way off the bat of sides, and Alvernia's on the board. An RBI base knock for the shortstop. His 35th RBI brings in Colin Rieger, and the score's now 3-1. So a couple of base hits in the inning, and the ground ball out for Alvernia. They responded at least with 1 run of the 3 that Hopkins scored. Ian Schaefer will stand in now, DHing today. The one notable absence in this Alvernia lineup is Cameron Coons. Breaking ball will miss low and away, 1-0. Coons, a first-teamer, first base. He's been around for a while. Big part of this Alvernia offense. The senior got the start yesterday, had 2 at-bats. This one a little soft, little blooper out to right field over the glove of Mike Eberly. That falls to the field for Alvernia's 3rd hit of the inning. And water comes spraying out of the Alvernia dugout. They do that every time they record a hit. Matt Briner will stand in with a couple of men on base, only 1 away. But Coons, you see him walking around with this huge elbow guard on his right arm, I believe. He tried swinging yesterday, went 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts against RIT. This one lined the opposite way, foul, and the count's 0-1. So he got taken out for Ian Schaefer, who's starting today as the DH. He's on at first. Nathan Sides out at second with the RBI. Already 2 teams eliminated in the Mid-Atlantic Regional Tournament. RIT this morning, after them SUNY Maritime. Each of them going 2 and out. 0-1 breaking ball in for a strike. That one about belt high. It's quickly 0-2. Briner hitting .392 on the year. Good for 2nd on the team. Not a guy that strikes out a whole lot. Only 3 times all year, but behind 0-2. Did strike out yesterday. He pulls one foul down towards the first base coach, John O'Mara. Across from him at third base, Todd Laveau. This Alvernia team coached by Yogi Lutz in his 31st year at the helm. A couple of legendary coaches in this contest. Lutz 31 years, Bob Babb for Johns Hopkins in his 38th. 0-2, bounced right side, probably tough for two. Conlon will field it and step on the bag. That's his only play, two gone, and now Alvernia has two men in scoring position. Two gone, Ben Dubas will stand in with an opportunity to tie up this ball game. A base knock could tie things up at 3. Hopkins with 2 hits in their half of the first. Alvernia with 3 so far in theirs. Third ball game of 4 today here in York. Ben Dubas awaits the pitch from Bodner. 341 mark on the year, 8 home runs, 41 RBIs. He fouls this one back and out of play. 0-1. Dubas, a first-teamer in the outfield, to really nobody's surprise. Led the Crusaders with 8 home runs, 40% of their team total, 20 on the year. I think there's been 4 home runs hit in this tournament so far. RIT with 2, Hopkins with 2. 0-1. Just gets a piece, fouls it to the backstop. Bonner's doing a nice job so far here in the first, mixing up speeds, mixing up his pitches. Heavy dose of breaking balls late in the count, and the fastball early in the count. Fastball's been coming in about mid-80s for Bodner this evening. Nice night here in York, about 80 degrees. 0-2. Breaking ball will bounce in. Again, Darwich blocks it. Well, he's had a busy first inning. Bodner now at 25 pitches. And the Crusaders have made him work here in the first. His season high in pitches thrown, 105 against Plymouth State. Down on Hopkins Fort Myers spring trip. 0-2 again. Looked like it hit him. It gets past Darwish to the backstop, and coming in to score is Nathan Sides. Bodner's talking to Lou Kammermeyer, saying that ball hit him. Now Kammermeyer's going to go talk to the umpires, pull everyone in, including crew chief Dave Snyder. Maybe someone saw something he didn't, but if that hit Dubas, the run doesn't count. The bases will be loaded. Darwich, the catcher, kind of froze as if, he knew that Kammermeyer would know that Dubas had been hit. It looked to me as though he was hit. Maybe just a graze of the jersey, but a long discussion here. Bodner came right in to the home plate umpire and started saying, hey, he was hit. And they're going to say the run counts. Bob Babb is out arguing now. He can't believe the call. They probably just said that no one else could see. Down to third base goes Ian Schaefer, and the score is now 3-2. 2-2 the count to Dubas. Here's the pitch. Low and in. Bodner looked like he tried to just fire that one past Dubas and missed badly. Count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Dubas an 0 for 4 yesterday, and now he walks. Bodner doesn't like that call. Now men on the corners for Alvernia. A very long first inning here in York with Hopkins and Alvernia. I'm sure not what the tournament directors would like to hear. They've been here for quite a while today, and will be a long night for them with a 4th game to follow this one. Just the 7th walk issued by Bodner all year. Walked a season-high 2 in his last start against Haverford. That one will miss low and away, 1-0. And that's going to prompt a mound visit from Ryan Graves. No surprise here. Try to go out and calm down his starter in his first career regional start. He's given up 3 hits this inning and a walk. Couple of runs have come in to score. Nathan Sides had the RBI single. Later came in to score on the ball that some thought was a hit by pitch. Others thought it was a wild pitch, but it was ruled a wild pitch and the run came in to score. So we'll take a quick look around Division III baseball and update you on some tournament scores. Worcester, a 1 seed out in the Mid-East Regional, had lost yesterday, came back today, and they were determined to win. They beat Misericordia 12-0, so Misericordia 2 and done out in Washington, PA. Sal Virginia beat Penn State Berks 12-4. Well, Penn State Berks is gone. Salisbury lives to see another day. They beat Otterbein 6-4, eliminating them. Texas Tyler, the 1 seed out in the West Regional, fell 5-2. They're 2 and done. A 1 seed is 2 and done. Count 2-0 now on Franco Esposito. Esposito out in left field today. Sophomore from Hamilton, New Jersey. Pitch from Bodner, right there for a strike about letter high. Now you look at the rankings, Texas Tyler, in the coaches poll, they were ranked 3rd. In the D3 baseball poll, they were ranked 5th. Probably a favorite to win that regional and go to Wisconsin, but now their season's over. They're heading home. Called strike, 2-2. Bodner looking to finish off this very long bottom of the first. He's thrown 32 pitches now. Pitch coming. Bounced left side. Mike Smith will backhand it. It's ruled fair. He has no play and a run's going to score. Now he turns around and has some words for Paul Thompson saying that ball was foul. And he's like, no way. Ian Schaefer crosses and we are tied up 3-3. Not what you want if you're Johns Hopkins. Exactly what the doctor ordered if you're Alvernia. So Esposito on now. A hit for him. And Stephen Carbonara will stand in, the 8th batter for Alvernia. Hopkins sent 8 men to the plate in their half of the first. Fastball low from Bodner. 1 ball and no strikes. 4 hits in the inning now for Alvernia. They put up 8 runs in their victory against RIT yesterday. Knocked off a higher seed in the first contest. Trying to do so here in the 3rd game of day 2. Swing and a miss, 1-1. You mentioned earlier Carbonara starting in just his 6th game all season long. 1 for 16 at the plate. Breaking ball here, bounced left side. Reynolds fields, flips to Eberle, and the inning comes to an end. And how about that first inning? Hopkins gets 3 in the top half. Alvernia gets 3 in the bottom half. Rieger, Sides, and Schaefer score. A couple of men left on base. Half an hour inning. We head to the second 3-3 ball game here at Peoples Bank Park.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
Top two here at Peoples Bank Park. Harrison Swartz with you. Glad you could join us this evening. I mentioned a absolutely gorgeous night. It's not as hot as yesterday. We had some rain come through here in York today. We had a severe thunderstorm warning last night with some lightning but no rain. But we had that 40-minute weather delay earlier. That's why we've been pushed back as far as we were. Joe Conlon will lead things off for the Blue Jays, followed by Connor Reynolds and Brian Lynn. 9-1-2. Pitch from Dunn, fastball outside, 1-0. Well, Dunn looking for a bounce-back inning here in the second. Gave up 3 hits on 3 runs, including the 2-run blast from Ryan Orgallevich in the first. Conlon fouls one back on the left side, not a play. Joe's average up to .301. Yesterday, a 1 for 3 at the plate. Walked and scored twice, in fact, in the ballgame yesterday. 1-1 line to right field. That one's falling and down for a base hit. Ben Dubas plays it on a hop, gets it back in. Joe Conlon begins his day 1 for 1. Picks up his second hit of the Mid-Atlantic Regional. I mentioned Hopkins beat Leslie yesterday 15-2. They are now 9-13 on day 1 games in a regional all-time. They won their first game in a regional yesterday for the first time since 2010. And that year, they made it out to Appleton. Conlon was leaning off first base, but gets back standing on a what we call B move from Dylan Dunn. Connor Reynolds, a strikeout, a very poor at-bat for him against Dunn. Here's a pickoff, no throw to first base. Carbonara holds on. Count goes to 1-0 on Reynolds. He struck out on a check swing fastball that missed up. Went down on 3 pitches. Yesterday, a big day for him. Fell a triple short of the cycle. 1-0. Fastball outside here. 2-0 the count. He went 3 for 5 with 3 runs. Drove in a pair and walked once. But started off 3 for 3, now 0 for his last 3. Batting average now at .380 on the year, 9 home runs, 2 behind Orgallevich for the team lead. Centennial Conference Player of the Year. Bounces one foul outside the bag at third. Count goes to 2-1. Now done over 30 pitches. He had the long first inning as well. Reynolds has reached base safely in 33 consecutive ball games after yesterday. Longest active streak for Hopkins. Longest of the year for the Blue Jays. This one popped up left side. Easy play for Kyle Gaynor. Foul ground. The third baseman has it. And there's one away in the second. Now, speaking of Connor, yesterday after his phenomenal performance, he was selected to do an interview, one of the required interviews for the player of the game, I guess, and the head coach after each regional contest. And he was asked if the team was worried when Leslie took a 1-0 lead in the first inning, and he kind of just laughed immediately. Brian Lynn, 1 for 1 today, stands in. Breaking ball up, 1-0. And he laughed because during this 20-game win streak for Hopkins, they've come from behind in 16 of them. 16 come from behind victories during that stretch, including 3 walk-off wins. So there's no reason to be worried when you're the number 2 team in the country and you're only down 1-0. And it didn't take long for them to regain that lead or take their first lead of the tournament, if you'd rather. Want to know the count to Brian Lynn. Singled, scored, stole a base back in the first. Takes this one the opposite way. High in the air out to left. Esposito near the foul line. Now in fair territory, in fact. It glides back in. He makes the grab. Back-to-back outs after the Joe Conlon single. Now Mike Smith will stand in with 2 away. RBI single for him down the third baseline. Snuck one under the glove of Kyle Gaynor. Mike a 1 for 4 with a run scored yesterday. That hit, by the way, was his first career against Alvernia. Takes this one high and deep out to right, playable for Dubas. Almost an atom ball, makes the grab, and after the single, the Jays go down in order. We head to the home half of the second, 3-3 game here at Peoples Bank Park. On to the home half of the second, Alvernia gets their second crack at Nick Bodner. The junior threw 36 pitches in the first and gave those 3 runs right back to the Crusaders. That's your score, 3-3. Kyle Gaynor gets things started. First pitch, line to center field. Tommy Mee was playing shallow, but not shallow enough. That's a base hit. First pitch fastball. Kyle Gaynor picks up a hit. That's the 5th for Alvernia. Back to the top of the order we go in Colin Rieger. He doubled and scored back in the first inning. Well, Mike Smith at third base will move in. Alvernia second in Division III baseball in sacrifice bunts, 61 on the year. They showed bunt once back in the first inning. Bunt shown here. It's laid down right side. That one picked up by Bodner to first base. Safe is the call. Eberle goes over to cover, but Rieger beats it out. The throw gets away from Bodner. And now back-to-back men reach for Alvernia. 2 pitches, 2 on. Now 6 hits for the Crusaders. And Bodner, right now, does not look like himself. Wouldn't be surprised if Bob Babb gets the bullpen going here fairly quickly. Yesterday didn't get a long outing out of their starter. Alex Ross went just 4 innings before the bullpen took over. After that, it was Harrison Folk, Cam Mineo, and Jack Bunning for the Blue Jays. Going the final 5 against Leslie. Well, Cirilli will stand in 0 for 1, a ground out to Joe Conlon. Now both corners in, expecting bunt once again. Alvernia with 62 now, and he shows right away. First pitch, fastball up. 1-0, oh, above his head. Had to duck out of the way. Gaynor at second, Rieger at first base. When the pitch was thrown, the middle infielders took off towards the corner bags. Conlon playing way in at first. Smith a bit farther back at third. Here's a pickoff move, and the throw hits right off the back of Kyle Gaynor. Trickles into shallow center field. Eberle goes out to get it. He'll get up and stretch that one out. That can't feel good. He looks to be all right. It's a 1-0 count here to Mike Cirilli. Cirilli looking to extend his streak to 9, to 10, and probably won't do it here with the bunt shown again. Pulls back That's a fastball that misses low and away. 2-0 the count. I feel like every time I look up, I see the Alvernia dugout spraying water onto the field. Cirilli, a .327 hitter this year. Shows bunt. And now Bodner will spin and look back to second again. And I stuck around for the SUNY Maritime Shenandoah game late last night. That ball game ending around 12:30 in the morning. Now Shenandoah, they can bunt. They are a very good bunting team. And I see a Blue Jay catcher down near the bullpen. And Blue Jay reliever Cam Mineo up and walking around down that way. Bunt is shown. It's laid down back to the mound. Bodner will field. High throw to first base, but Eberle keeps his foot on the bag to record the out. Now Alvernia has two men in scoring position. Gainer to third base, Rieger to second. 62 sacrifice bunts on the year now. One gone, in steps the dangerous Nathan Sides. A .440 hitter. He picked up a hit in his first at bat and an RBI as well. First pitch. Reaches for one, laces it the opposite way, foul. That one landing now near the Blue Jay bullpen. Brian Lynn gave chase, but out of his reach. 0-1. Sides was named the MAC Commonwealth Player of the Year. His back-to-back two-hit ball games. Has recorded a hit in 9 of his last 10. After that base hit in the first, he's reached base safely in 10 straight. That one just missing outside, 1-1. This is Sides' first career ball game against Hopkins. His only other opportunity would have been February 26th of 2016 in Baltimore. Alvernia and Hopkins once in a while will play a non-conference matchup. Last 2 years they did not this year. Count 1-2 now. This is the 11th meeting all time between the Crusaders and Blue Jays. Look back to second. Now Bodner comes home. Bouncing ball left side. It's under the glove of Smith and into left field. Reynolds can't get to it either. Alvernia has the lead. 4-3. Gainer crosses. Nathan Sides has himself a 2-hit, 2 RBI ball game. And Rieger heads down to third. So 4 unanswered runs for the Crusaders. Nick Bodner throwing some very hittable pitches to the Crusader batters, and they're making him pay. And the Blue Jays jumped off to an early lead, kind of look flat right now. The momentum completely in favor of Alvernia. Ian Schaefer, he's 1 for 1. He singled and scored. First pitch to him. Put up in the air, high and foul. Well out of play. And the count's 0-1. We mentioned the 11th all-time meeting between Alvernia and Hopkins. Hopkins leads the all-time series, 5 wins, 4 losses, and a tie. The tie came back on February 27th of 2012, a 7-7 game. Breaking ball swung on and missed, 0-2. Hopkins won the last matchup. That came last year in Baltimore. They won that one 3-0. In fact, Ryan Orgallevich hit a home run that game. So now 2 career home runs for him. They've also met in a regional 4 times. 5th meeting in a regional this evening. Alvernia all-time 3-1 in those games. The last time they met in a regional was here at Peoples Bank Park in 2015. The Crusaders fell behind 1-0 in the first and then ended up winning that game 8-1. That was the semifinal round. They went on to face Salisbury in the championship and got blown out. And Salisbury won the regional that year. As you see there, a pitch in the dirt allows Size to take second. And the opportunity for a double play erased. Nice aggressive base running there. Puts 2 men in scoring position. Alvernia on top 4-3. Oh, the only time Hopkins has beaten Alvernia in a regional game came back in 2003. Breaking ball up, 2-2. Well, Hopkins won that contest 14-4. But since then, 2011, 2013, and 2015, Alvernia has come out victorious. Breaking ball again outside, 3-2. It looked as though Cam Mineo was up and throwing, and just as quickly as I say that, Bob Babb comes out of the Hopkins dugout and makes the call to the pen. It won't be Mineo. Instead, it looks like it might be Josh Hedgka. Second straight day, Bob Babb makes a pitching change in the middle of an at-bat. The count is 3-2 to Ian Schaefer. Josh Hedgka will become the new Blue Jay pitcher. We'll take a short break and come right back. Your score, Alvernia 4, Johns Hopkins 3. Back here in the bottom of the second, Harrison Swartz with you. It's a 4-3 Alvernia lead. Josh Hedgka becomes the new Blue Jay pitcher. A very short outing for Nick Bodner, his shortest of the year. He goes just an inning and a third, giving up 6 hits, no strikeouts, 1 walk. So far, 4 runs, and he's responsible for Colin Rieger at third base and Nathan Sides at second. So Josh Hedgka inherits 2 base runners in scoring position. He's appearing in his 17th ball game of the year. Ties Harrison Folk for the team lead in appearances. It's a 3-2 count to Ian Schaefer, and that one misses up. The bases are loaded. Now Matt Briner will stand in. Briner 0 for 1. Well, Hedgka hails from Dearborn, Michigan, a graduate of Divine Child High School. As you can see, he's a submarine type, just like a Darren O'Day. In fact, Darren O'Day, if you don't know this, was recruited by Bob Babb to come to Johns Hopkins. Instead, he went to Division I, Florida. 1-0 the count. And in fact, Hedgka's fastball velocity not too far off from O'Day's. Comes in low to mid-80s. Tops about 84, 85. That one a bit outside at 82. 2 balls and no strikes. Hedge was actually a converted second baseman. Back in high school, he played the middle infield. Outside, 3-0. No place to put him. You have to throw a strike. He's come in and thrown 4 straight out of the zone. Back as a junior and senior in high school, Hedgka is an all-city, all-district, all-region, all-academic, and all-state pitcher. Now in his sophomore year for Hopkins, the 3-0 misses a 4-pitch walk, and the lead is now 5-3 in favor of Alvernia. And not the way you want to start your outing if you're Josh Hedgka. Bob Babb cannot be pleased with the way his pitchers have thrown today. It's never a good sign when your starting pitcher throws 50 pitches through 1 1/3 innings. You want to take him out and save him for a possible later outing in the regional. Hopkins has a very deep pitching staff, one of the best in the country. That one hits for a strike to Ben Dubas. 0-1. Sides at third, Schaefer at second, Briner at first. Pitch to Dubas. Hit out to center field, could bring in another run. Tommy Mee is there, makes the running grab, and he forgot how many outs there were. Coming in to score easily is Sides. The throw to third base is in time. Mike Smith applies the tag to Schaefer, but the run does count. 2 more runs in to score since Hedgka entered the ballgame, and it becomes a 3-run second inning. Alvernia, after 2, on top of Johns Hopkins, 6-3. We head to the third inning here at Peoples Bank Park. We head to the top of the third. Alvernia on top, 6-3. The Blue Jays trailing, but like we mentioned earlier, nothing new to them. It's going to be Ryan Orgallevich, Tommy Mee, and John Hayden, the middle of this Blue Jay lineup. First pitch to Ryan. Fastball hit high and deep to left field. That one is going to smack right off the arch nemesis. Orgallevich on his horse towards second base. He will get there standing with a leadoff double. Blue Jays pick up their 5th hit. Orgallevich is 2 for 2, a home run and a double now. He's jumping on these Dylan Dunn fastballs. So he'll pick up his 15th two-bagger and the Jays' 101st on the year. Looking down to signs from his head coach, Bob Babb. I mentioned Babb in his 38th year at the helm of this Blue Jays squad. He has 1,106 career victories, 4th most active. Tommy Mee stands in. Reached on an error back in the first. Spin and look back to second base, no throw. Now Babb has 14 Centennial Conference titles. This is his 21st NCAA appearance. And he's made 3 World Series appearances. 2 to Appleton, 1 to Bristol, Connecticut. A spin and a look back to second base. Tommy Mee was showing bunt. He hasn't seen a pitch yet, but we'll see if he actually shows bunt when Dunn comes to the plate. Corners are in. Briner at first, Gaynor at third. He doesn't show bunt. Swings and fouls it back on the right side. 0-1. And when you talk to Babb about his 1,100 plus career wins, he will always tell you that he's just been blessed with great players and loyal coaches. Look back to second. Now the 0-1 pitch. Grounded foul behind Babb. And I talked to Coach Babb, and I asked him if he was surprised by how well his team has done this year and where they're ranked right now. You know, number 2 in the country in a poll, number 4 in another, number 1 in the Mid-Atlantic, and he said surprised would be an understatement. And he went on to say, we may not have the most talent, but we get the most out of the talent we have. And the Blue Jays have. They've done a great job this year winning close ball games, playing some tough competition. Their strength of schedule is 24th in Division III baseball. 0-2. Reached for and again fouled out of play on the right side. Time called. Home plate umpire Luke Kammermeyer would like a new batch of baseballs. Alvernia on top 6-3. Lots of offense early on. 3 for the Blue Jays in the top of the first. Alvernia responded with 3 of their own in their half of the first, and then 3 more in the second, chasing Nick Bodner, the Blue Jays starter from the ballgame. Tommy Mee way behind 0-2 against Dylan Dunn. The righty from the stretch comes home. Breaking ball hit out to right field. It hangs up for Dubas, who trots back and makes the grab. 1 away in the top of the third. Now John Hayden will stand in now. John struck out back in the first. 1 of 3 Dylan Dunn strikeouts. He struck out the side that inning. Now we have a little infield meeting here. Everyone in the infield, minus the third baseman Kyle Gaynor. Now John yesterday 1 for 4 with a run and a double in his first career start in an NCAA regional game. He was left off the Hopkins regional roster when they were here in 2015. He made it last year in Washington but did not play. Currently riding a 5-game hit streak, hitting .333 over that stretch with a double, 3 runs, and 6 driven in. First pitch, fouled back on the left side, 0-1. In the Centennial Conference Tournament, John appeared in all 3 ball games, made just 1 start, went a total of 3 for 6 at the plate with a couple of runs and 4 RBIs. 0-1 coming. Swing and a miss late on the fastball. 0-2. Dylan Dunn has really settled down nicely since the first inning. Ryan Orgallevich with the leadoff double out at second base. Not a big lead for the DH. 0-2 to Hayden. Off the fists and fouled back out of play again. We mentioned earlier Hayden really in his first year as a starter for Bob Babb. He's played behind some pretty good outfielders in his career, now getting the shot this season, his senior year, and locking in a spot in left field. Early in the season, the Blue Jays had a left field carousel going on, putting out almost anybody in left field. Last year, their left fielder at the end of the season was Zach Jaffe. They lost Jaffe for the year early on. They were expecting him to be their third outfielder, but early on, Coach Babb was experimenting, and he finally settled on mainly John Hayden. But you see Tim Kutcher come in often, especially when there's a lefty on the mound. The Blue Jays have drawn a pair of righties back-to-back days. Leslie, Tom Muratori yesterday, and now today the righty Dylan Dunn. 0-2 on the way. Hayden again just gets a piece and fouls it back. No, Babb was putting a number of different guys out there. You had Tim Kutcher out there. He got some starts in Fort Myers. Mike Eberle made a start out in left field a couple of times. There was a point where they were hoping to transition him to an outfielder, but he's locked up that second base role quite nicely. Dunn way ahead here, trying to retire Hayden. They're in a battle. Here comes the pitch, breaking ball, and he wins. Strikes him out for the second time today. Hayden is 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. And on the year, he has struck out 19 times. 4 strikeouts for Dunn, 2 away in the Blue Jay half of the third. The Blue Jays, the top seed in this tournament, but the visitors in this ball game. Alvernia, the visiting team against RIT yesterday, now the home team this evening. Alex Darwich stands in, hit by a pitch in his lone at bat. It's a fastball here, low and outside, 1-0. Alex in his career in NCAA regional tournaments, 6 for 13 with a home run. Last year in Washington went 3 for 8. Back in 2015, 1 for 1 with an RBI here in York. His lone at bat came against Catholic University in a 15-3 rout by Johns Hopkins. One career at bat for him entering today against Alvernia. It was a triple. Takes this one high and deep to right field. Dubas is back at the track. He runs it down. Man, oh man, did he cover a lot of ground right there. And Darwich got a lot of it, but not enough to get it over Dubas' head. Nice play by the right fielder, and the inning is over. A leadoff double from Ryan Orgallevich. He is stranded in scoring position. The Jays have left 4 men on through 3 innings. Alvernia coming to bat. They're on top, 6-3. Back here in the bottom of the third, Harrison Swartz with you. Alvernia on top 6-3. The 6 runs for Alvernia breaks a stretch of 5 consecutive games for Blue Jay pitchers where they've kept opponents to 4 runs or less. That streak started back on April the 29th against Dickinson. A called strike, 0-1. It's Franco Esposito, Steven Carbonara, and Kyle Gaynor against Josh Hedgka in relief for Nick Bodner. Slider fouled back to the screen quickly, 0-2. Well, Esposito, he singled back in the first inning. He's 1 for 1. He was the final out of that 3-run frame for the Crusaders. Gets a slider here and Fouls it out of play on the right side. So Josh Hedgka came on. He faced 3 batters in the second. Inherited a 3-2 count to Ian Schaefer, walked him, then walked Briner on 4 pitches to bring in a run. Then the sac fly, and there's a swing and a miss. A strikeout for Josh Hedgka. The Submariner picks up his 28th of the year. And that's the first strikeout for a Blue Jay pitcher today. Esposito is 1 for 2. Steven Carbonero, the catcher, will stand in. The fielder's choice for him back in the first, 0 for 1. Bouncing ball left side. Reynolds will charge and misplay it. To the infield grass it goes, and on safely is Carbonara. Reynolds had to hustle, got to it, probably had plenty of time. As long as he makes an accurate throw, he probably gets Carbonara. But he can't handle the soft ground ball. That'll be an error and become Connor's 3rd of the tournament. He now has 16 on the year. Each team with 2 errors so far today. Reynolds had a couple of throwing errors yesterday. Bunt is shown. This one misses up and in, 1-0. Now, if you're Hopkins, your goal this inning is don't let Alvernia score 3 runs. 3 runs in each of the first and second innings. Maybe it should be don't let them score any runs. Down 6-3. There's a called strike, 1-1. No bunt shown that time from Gaynor. He led off the second. Singleton scored. Each of the first 2 innings today, Alvernia got the leadoff man on with a hit. Today, though, in the 3rd inning, though, Hedgka gets Esposito with the strikeout. And there's a move to first base, and Carbonara is back in. I said Gaynor making just his 13th start of the year. His last start came on April the 29th against Arcadia. He went 0 for 3 that day. Entered the ball game hitting .224. With that single, it jumped up to .240. Here's the pitch. Runner takes off. It was a hit and run, and that one is slapped foul the opposite way. 1-2. He made a start earlier this year against Swarthmore, another Centennial Conference opponent. That day he went 0 for 4 and picked up the Golden Sombrero. Struck out 4 times. A much better start against this Centennial Conference opponent. We'll see if the runner takes off again. Here's a quick move to first base, and just getting back in is Carbonara. Middle infield in double play depth for Johns Hopkins. Outfield playing pretty shallow against Gaynor. Another move to first base. This time Carbonara dives back in. Gaynor, a junior from Reading, PA, in a 1-2 count. Graduate of Wilson High School. Stands at 5'10", 185. Mike Smith even with the bag at third. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. Hedgka gets him on the slider. Couple of strikeouts inning, 2 gone. We'll go back to the top of the order in Colin Rieger. He's had an at-bat in every inning today. First, he had a double. In the second, a bunt single. Each time, he came in to score. The offense starts with the leadoff guy. This one bounced back to the mound. Hedgka has it. On to first base. Inning over. Now, the first time today, Blue Jay pitching has been able to silence Alvernia bats. We head to the 4th. Crusaders on top, 6-3 here at Peoples Bank Park.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III?
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Mike Eberle gets us started in the top of the fourth. It'll be him, Joe Conlon, and Connor Reynolds for Hopkins against Dylan Dunn. There's a fastball at 87, and the top of the fourth is underway with a 1-0 count. Eberle struck out swinging to end the first inning. He's 0 for 1 to begin his evening. Another fastball, another one low and away from Dunn. Yesterday, Eberle, in his first ever NCAA regional game, quite the performance, 3 for 4, a couple of runs. Hits this one out to left field. Playable for Esposito. Near the foul line, the left fielder makes the grab, 1 away. Well, that's 4 in a row retired now by Dunn since the Orgallevich double in the third. Hopkins is 2 for 4 today, getting the leadoff man on. Well, looking ahead in the tournament, the winner of this ball game will play the 4:30 contest tomorrow against the winner of today's nightcap between Shenandoah and Wheaton. Swung on and missed by Conlon, 0-1. Now the loser will turn around, head home, and have an early wake-up call. They will take on 6th-seeded Elizabethtown at 10 a.m. Up and away, 1-1. Leslie defeated RIT earlier. They'll take on the loser of Wheaton and Shenandoah tomorrow morning. Fouled back to the screen, 1-2. I beg your pardon, not tomorrow morning, but a 1:15 scheduled first pitch. But the way this tournament's gone, it will more than likely be later than 1:15. The only games that have gotten started on time were today's 10 a.m. game and yesterday's 10 a.m. contest. 1-2 to Conlon. Upstairs. Even 2-2 count. Earlier today, Leslie, like we said, defeated RIT 6-5. That game went 15 innings. And after them, Elizabethtown took on SUNY Maritime. And the Blue Jays won that one 13-5 over the Privateers. 13-5. Count runs full on Conlon, 3-2. Well, here in the top of the fourth, Alvernia on top of Hopkins, 6-3. Hopkins looking to get something going. Their bats have been pretty quiet since the first. Conlon fouls one out of play, well out of play on the left side. That one leaves the ballpark. Conlon singled to lead off the second inning. 1 for 1. He has 2 hits in the tournament. Payoff pitch coming. Slapped foul the opposite way again. Conlon in a battle here with Dunn. who's now approaching 60 pitches on the evening. If you weren't with us early, it was a short outing for Blue Jays starter Nick Bodner, going just an inning and a third, throwing 50 pitches, giving up 6 runs and being pulled in the middle of an at-bat. Breaking ball again, fought off foul the opposite way. We talked about the obvious absence from the Alvernia lineup earlier in Cameron Coons. The other absence, John Catchmark, the MAC Commonwealth Pitcher of the Year, as Conlon goes down swinging for out number 2 in the 4th. He's 1 for 2, 5 strikeouts for Dunn. And John Catchmark, and the rumor is he's been left off the Alvernia tournament roster. Yesterday it was Ryan Sheeky getting the start for the Crusaders against RIT. And tonight, Dylan Dunn. Back to the top of the order we go in Connor Reynolds. Connor today 0 for 2 with a strikeout, also a foul pop-out. Breaking ball low, 1-0. 6 runs on 6 hits, a couple of errors for the Crusaders. 3 runs on 4 hits, a couple of errors for the Blue Jays. Reynolds bounces one foul and over towards the Alvernia dugout. Alvernia head coach Yogi Lutz fields that one. Actually, I believe he misplayed it. 1-1. Fastball low and inside. Dudd's been living about 87-88 on his heater so far today. Hasn't lost any velocity. Here in the top of the 4th, he's through 3 2/3. Reynolds looking to get on base for the first time in this ball game, trying to extend his reached base streak to 34. Two 1 on the way. There's a big breaking ball, and it misses low. Nice one to lay off of there if you're Reynolds. 3-1. Now way ahead. See if he gets something to drive. Reynolds hit a home run yesterday over top of the arch nemesis. It's a fastball here. Grounds it left side. Fielded cleanly by Gaynor. On to first. A 1-2-3 top of the 4th for Dylan Dunn and Alvernia. At the end of 3.5, the score remains the same. Alvernia 6, Johns Hopkins 3. You're watching the 2017 Mid-Atlantic Regional Baseball Tournament. All right, howdy, folks. Harrison Swartz here with you. Bottom 4 from Peoples Bank Park. Alvernia back out to hit. They lead 6-3. They were kept off the board for the first time today an inning ago. Josh Hetchka looking for more of the same here of the 4th. First pitch to Mike Cirilli. A bit up and away on the heater. 1-0 the count. Cirilli and then Sides and Schaefer. 2, 3, and 4 for Alvernia. Swing and a miss. Actually, a foul tip into the glove of Alex Darwich, and the count evens up 1-1. Hedgka appeared in 2 postseason contests in the Centennial Conference Tournament, throwing 2 1/3 innings, giving up a couple of hits, and no runs, no strikeouts, no walks. Slider there for a strike, 1-2. Hedgka has not allowed an earned run over his last 3 outings. That one reached for, slow bouncing ball right side. Conlon will field, flip to Hedgka. He steps on first base, a bang play, and he just gets Cirilli by an eyelash. One gone. Those PFPs paying off for Johns Hopkins. So Cirilli 0 for 2 today with a sacrifice bunt. It'll bring Nathan Sides to the plate for the 3rd time today. He's 2 for 2. Couple of RBIs, couple of runs scored. First pitch, a slider for a called strike on the outside corner. 0-1. And looking at his score sheet here, Sides, they actually ruled him reaching in the second an error. So he's 1 for 2. Must have changed it late. 1 ball, 1 strike. This one slapped foul the opposite way down towards John O'Mara. 1-2 the count. Hedgka comes home, and again it's fouled back to the screen. Sides and Matt Briner, both in the starting lineup tonight. Sides the 3-hitter, Briner the 5-hitter. Each of them a sophomore from Media, Pennsylvania, and both of them graduates of Penncrest High School. Hedgka walking around behind the mound here. He's in a 1-2 count, 1 away in the bottom of the 4th. Well, Penncrest from Media, Pennsylvania. Each of them from the class of 2015. Bouncing ball towards the middle, and Eberle can't catch up to it. It's a base hit. Sides has himself a 2-hit day. Officially now a 2-hit day. He's 2 for 3. So a 1-out base knock for Sides. He's got 79 hits on the year. Well in control for the team lead. Bunt shown here by Schaefer. That one goes foul and to the backstop. 0-1. Alvernia playing very well against this very good Johns Hopkins ball club throughout the year. You look at their schedule, and no games really stick out to you. They were supposed to play Randolph-Macon. That game was canceled because of rain. They played Kane, lost 1-0. That's a good outing. Kane's a solid ball club. Count goes to 1-1. Kane missed out on an A regional tournament this year. Haverford, a solid squad out of the Centennial Conference. That game was postponed. They were supposed to play TC&J. That game was canceled. And now time called at the plate. They were supposed to play Rutgers-Camden. That game was canceled. They did play Rutgers-Newark twice. Rutgers-Newark just missed out on a regional tournament. They beat them 20-15 and then tied them 8-8. One of their 2 ties this year. And then, of course, they beat RIT yesterday, a top 25 ball club. They beat them 8-4. So looking for their 2nd straight win against a top 25 team. There's a called strike. Darwich throws onto first base, and out is out is Nathan Sides at first base. He's picked off by Alex Darwich. Way off the bag, Darwich threw a strike to Joe Conlon. And now that 1-out single is erased. 2 gone in the fourth. 1-2 the count to Ian Schaefer. Here's the pitch, way outside. Schaefer a single, a walk, and a run scored today. Six to 3 Alvernia. Here's the pitch from Hedgka. Another slider, it's outside, 2-2. Schaefer entering today had 1 career appearance against Hopkins. Went 1 for 3 with a sac bunt and a strikeout. And that one misses outside. A walk from Josh Hedgka. A rare walk from Josh Hedgka. Just his 7th this year, but his 2nd of the ball game. That pickoff looks better and better now as we don't get him at first base. Alvernia has a man in scoring position. So 2 walks issued now by Hedgka. Man on with 2 away. Matt Briner will stand in. First pitch, a called strike, 0-1. Briner walked with the bases loaded back in the 2nd. It was one of the walks that Hedgka issued. 0-1 runner faked going to second base. That one slapped foul the opposite way. No balls and 2 strikes. It's funny that D3Baseball.com named Alvernia the team in this region most likely to disappoint, but so far through 2 games they have done anything but disappoint. 1-2 the count. Defeating a higher seed yesterday 8-4. Now on top of the number 2 team in the country 6-3. D3 Baseball, they called RIT the Cinderella. They were 2 and done. Low and inside, 2-2. And of course the favorite, the 2 you'd expect to be considered favorites by most, Shenandoah and Hopkins. D3 Baseball chose Johns Hopkins. Probably because of that win streak and the fact that Shenandoah kind of backed their way into the tournament. Still a top 10 team, but entered the tournament with a 3-game losing streak, and they were just 5-5 over their last 10 prior to their 5-3 victory last night over SUNY Maritime. It's going to be a couple of late nights for Shenandoah. Probably didn't get back to the team hotel till around 1 a.m. last night. Probably going to be the same story tonight. 2-2. Bounced right side. Eberle not in position because the runner was taking off for second base. A perfect hit and run. Heading to third base is Schaefer. Beautifully done by Alvernia. Briner on base for the 2nd time today. Picks up his first hit. And now the Crusaders have men on the corners against Hedgka. Now you have one of the more dangerous hitters in this lineup, Ben Dubas, standing in. No hits today, but he's been productive. Dubas walked back in the first. And then the sac fly picked up an RBI in the 2nd. Another RBI opportunity for him here. On the season, Dubas has 43 driven in. Low and outside from Hedgka, 1-0. All 6 runs for Alvernia, charged to Nick Bodner, the starter. But they're threatening here against Hedgka. Low and inside. Count 2-0. Just getting a piece of this one and fouling it off to the right. Dubas so far in this tournament a combined 0 for 4. The 0 for 4, of course, yesterday. No official at-bat today with the walk and the sac fly. had a short 3-game hit streak entering the tournament, and of course snapped yesterday with his performance. Count now 3-1. Hedgka being very careful to the Alvernia right fielder. Just over an hour and a half in this one. It's been a long ball game, bottom 4 here at Peoples Bank Park. 2 gone in this half of the 4th inning. Hedgka goes third to first move, and they have the runners in between first and second base, and Conlon fires it into left field. A run's going to score. Coming in is Ian Schaefer from third base, and Alvernia now leads 7-3. Boy, it looked like it was going to work. And Conlon just airmailed one out towards John Hayden in left. Since the top of the first, the Blue Jays have just looked completely sloppy. Briner now in scoring position. Count 3-1 to Ben Dubas. Hedgka comes home, and it misses. There's a 5-pitch walk to the right fielder, his second walk today, and Hedgka has now walked 3. Might be seeing some activity in the Hopkins bullpen now. DIII will go out and talk to his reliever. We talked about how deep this Blue Jay bullpen, or the entire pitching staff, is. Bob Babb thinks that he has about 7 or 8 guys that can start a ball game for him. We've seen Alex Ross start yesterday. Harrison Folk in relief, one of those guys that have started this year. Jack Bunning in relief yesterday. He has started a few games this year. Franco Esposito stands in, 2 on, 2 out. First pitch in for a strike. Esposito down 0-1. A single and a strikeout for the left fielder today. Looking to keep things going in the 4th. 7 unanswered runs for the Crusaders. Another strike. It's quickly 0-2. That was the 40th pitch from Josh Hedgka. And again, that run coming in was the first he's allowed in his last 3 outings. 0-2. Slider lifted in the air out to right field. Coming in Lynn. It falls in front of him. Being waved home is Briner. The throw is cut off. 8-3 Alvernia. Alvernia ties up their run total from yesterday and their run total from the 2015 regional contest against Hopkins. There's an RBI for Esposito. For him, that's just his 13th this year. He has himself a 2-hit evening. You talk about all these comebacks for Hopkins. This one will have to be one of the bigger ones if they plan on coming back in this one. They're being out-hit by Alvernia 9-4 tonight. First pitch to Carbonero, in for a strike, 0-1. And the throw back to the mound from Darwich trickles away from Josh Hedgka. And that's what I mean. It's not just the play itself, the pitching, the lack of offense. It's just the lack of awareness for this team tonight. They just look dead. Alvernia, though, making them pay for their mistakes, jumping on mistake pitches, finding holes in the outfield. That one outside, 1-1. Pitch coming in. There's a strike on the outer edge, 1-2. Carbonara is 0 for 2. Reached on the error. Got on a fielder's choice. Fouls this one back and out of play. prior to today, the last time out for Carbonara was May 7th against Widener. Went 0 for 3 that day. Pops this one up foul, right side. Darwich throws the mask, and he is under it to make the grab, and the inning ends. But Alvernia puts 2 more on the board against Josh Hedgka. And at the end of 4, your score, Alvernia 8, Johns Hopkins 3.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in their interests in the campus and in their lives outside of that sport. It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do out when changing the world.
Top 5 here in York. Brian Lynn will get us started. First pitch swinging. Ground ball left side. Nathan Sides on to first. 1 pitch, 1 down. And Dylan Dunn says thank you very much. Quite a long wait for him in between pitching the 4th and 5th innings. He is now retired 7 Hopkins batters in a row. Brian Lynn's 1 for 3. Mike Smith will stand in. He's 1 for 2 today. An RBI single and a run scored. All that offense coming for him back in the first. Now it'll miss low, a breaking ball. 1-0. Hopkins has 2 hits since their 3-run first inning. 1-0 coming. Towards shortstop, sliding stop by Sides. On a bounce, picked out by Matt Briner. What a play that was. A web gem from Sides, going to his right. A sliding stop on the infield dirt. Robs Mike Smith of a hit. And an equally impressive pick by Matt Briner. A long bounce. He stuck with it. 2 away on 3 pitches for Dylan Dunn. Ryan Orgallevich will stand in. 2 for 2, a home run and a double today. First pitch to him will bounce in and skip away from Steven Carbonara. 1-0. Well, Dylan Dunn not yet at 70 pitches. Not allowing much offense since the first. Orgallevich will check his swing. They want an appeal. Now they go to first base, and the crew chief, Dave Snyder, says that Ryan did not go around. 2-0 the count. See if Ryan gets a fastball. He's been jumping on those Dunn fastballs today. Does get one, and he chases one upstairs. Nice pitch by Dunn, thinking that Ryan might be expecting fastball, and he gave him what he wanted, but threw it out of the zone. 2-1 on the way. Another fastball. That's a called strike. Ryan, not a big fan of that call. Looked a bit low and away, but Cameron Meyer's been calling him there all night. Count now even 2-2. Breaking ball, that's outside. Easy one to lay off of. Count runs full, 3-2. Ryan, 9 career hits in this stadium in 6 games. Looking to make it 10 right here. 3-2. Hits one high in the air, deep right field. Dubas going back. He looks up, and that ball is gone. Ryan Orgallevich, a 2-homer ball game. This time he goes opposite field. That is his 12th home run of the year, 3rd of his career in this stadium, and 4th in an NCAA regional game. Dubas could only turn and watch it sail out of here. 8-4 Alvernia. Let's see if that maybe kickstarts the Hopkins offense. Ryan entered the tournament 21st in Division III baseball in home runs. Tommy Mee stands in now. First pitch to the Blue Jays senior captain. Popped up foul right side, giving Chase Briner, as is the catcher Carbonara, and each of them run out of real estate. That one lands a couple rows into the seats. It's also the 3rd career home run for Ryan against Alvernia, and it's his first multi-home run game of the season. So the Blue Jays have 3 home runs this tournament, and that officially ties up their total from last year at 46. They've been top 10 in Division III in home runs the last 2 seasons. Big breaking ball to Tommy Mee, misses outside. 1-1. John Hayden on deck. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. 1-1 breaking ball off the fist. Soft line drive out towards second base. Cirilli has it onto first. Got him. A bang-bang play. The throw beats Tommy Mee by an eyelash. Another web gem by an Alvernia infield. Boy, Signs and Cirilli flash the leather here in the top half of the 5th. The Blue Jays do respond with 1. Ryan Orgallevich, the opposite field blast, makes it an 8-4 game. We are halfway home, and the Blue Jays will bring out their 3rd pitcher of the ball game. Southpaw Nick Burns will take the mound. We'll take a short break and come right back to Peoples Bank Park. Well, Kyle Gaynor will get things started. He'll get the first look at the new Blue Jay pitcher, Nick Burns. First pitch from Burns outside, 1-0. Burns on the year, making his 12th appearance. He's 2-0 with a 6.12 earned run average. Fastball will bounce in, backhanded by Darwich. 2 balls and no strikes. Nick was a starter for the Blue Jays early on this year, getting the opening day nod. Originally their number 1, now out of the bullpen. There's a called strike. 2-1. Gaynor, Rieger, and Cirilli, by the way, for the Crusaders. 9-1-2 in the 5th. This one lined to left center field. That's going to be down for a base hit. The Crusaders have their 10th hit of the evening. They've been lighting up Hopkins pitching. That's Gaynor's 2nd. So the bottom of the order producing for Alvernia. Well, everyone in the starting lineup for Alvernia, minus Mike Cirilli, has reached base tonight. Cirilli, though, 0 for 2 with a sac bunt. He's on deck. Nick Burns, one of 2 lefties out of the Blue Jay bullpen. The other one, John Donahue. Last time Nick pitched was April the 29th. A few weeks ago against Dickinson. Bunt laid down back to the mound. Nick fields, spins, throws to first. One away, a sacrifice bunt for Colin Rieger. The second such occurrence for Alvernia this ballgame. 63 sacrifice bunts on the year now. Down to second base goes Kyle Gaynor. Well, now with a man in scoring position, your goal is just get that 1 run back that you gave up on the Orgallevich solo blast in the 5th. Nick Burns from Hopkinton, Massachusetts. He's a junior. Mike Cirilli stands in. A sac bunt of his own tonight. We'll watch one miss low. 1 ball and no strikes. That last outing for Nick, he threw an inning in relief, gave up 1 hit, and struck out a batter. He has not allowed an earned run since April the 15th when he got the start at home against Haverford. That day he gave up 5. His 2 wins this year came in starts against NYU and then in a relief appearance against Ursinus College on April the 23rd. But again, he has not lost this year. 1-0. Fastball on the inside corner at 84. 1-1. Back out of the class of 2014, Nick was ranked the number 3 left-handed pitcher in the state of Massachusetts and the 21st best player overall. Spinning a turn to second base. The applied tag by Reynolds is not in time. Just getting back in is Gaynor. Mentioned Burns out of Hopkinton, Massachusetts, about 30 miles west of Boston. Town most well known for being the starting point of the Boston Marathon. Couple looks back to second base. He'll kick and come home. 1-1 hit out to left field. Hayden trailing back has a play on it. And the senior makes the grab, fires it back into Reynolds quickly, 2 away. That'll bring up Nathan Sides. For Alvernia, that's the man you want at the plate with men in scoring position. Sides had himself quite a ball game, couple of hits. He's been on base 3 times. He has scored twice and even has himself an RBI. His team on top 8-4 here in their half of the 5th inning. Approaching 2 hours into this ball game. Just past 8:20 here on the East Coast. Burns kicks and delivers. Fastball fouled back to the screen. 0-1. Nick looking for a quick 5th inning. Just 7 pitches for him so far. Entering this year, Burns was the most experienced starter on this Blue Jay roster. Their expected 4 coming into the year were him, Alex Ross, Sean McCracken, and Preston Betts. The other 3 have started multiple times this year. McCracken out of the bullpen quite a bit, but Ross and Betts, as well as Bodner tonight, have made the majority of the starts for Johns Hopkins. Back in high school, Burns, a Tri-Valley Pitcher of the Year as a sophomore, 3-time Tri-Valley All-Star. And he even was a solid hitter, hit .362 at the plate while tossing 7 complete games as a senior. Now a junior at Hopkins in an 0-1 count against Nathan Sides. Big curveball there will miss just outside. That hit at 66. Count even up 1-1. On deck, Ian Schaefer and then Matt Briner. Runner out at second base, Kyle Gaynor. He singled to begin the fifth. Pitch from Burns. Little blooper, shallow right field. Lynn was playing in. He calls off the second baseman Eberle and makes the grab. Nick Burns with a solid fifth inning. Works out of the early trouble. Gaynor gets into scoring position. After that, the Crusaders go down in order. They're on top 8-4. We are through 5. We head to the 6th inning here at Peoples Bank Park. Well, through 5, it's Alvernia on top, the team that did not win their conference, not ranked in the top 25, got an at-large bid. They're on top of the number 2 team in the country, 8-4. Harrison Swartz with you here. Glad you're sticking around with us tonight. John Hayden will lead things off for Johns Hopkins in the 6th. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts on the evening. Dylan Dunn delivers a fastball for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Hayden didn't like the call. After Hayden, it'll be Alex Starwich and then Mike Eberle. 6, 7, and 8. Hopkins head coach Bob Babb looking for somebody other than his DH, Ryan Orgallevich, to contribute on the offensive side of things. 1-2 as that one's fouled back out of play. It's 8 runs on 10 hits, 2 errors for Alvernia. They've put on quite the show offensively tonight, and Dylan Dunn, their starter, has done a nice job against this lineup, minus Ryan Orgallevich. That's a called strike 3. Hayden can't believe the call. No argument from Bob Babb. Maybe he thought that was a bit low. And we've got one away. Hayden 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. 6 on the evening for Dunn. Alex Darwich hit by a pitch, fly ball out to right. That fly ball was hit well. Actually looking out that way, Ben Dubas is moving in on Darwich here. First pitch from Dunn, fastball low and in. 1-0. Darwich gave it a ride. It came with a man in scoring position, but not deep enough. Dubas covered quite a bit of ground to run it down. Darwich golfs one here and smokes one down towards the Alvernia bullpen. 1-1. Does have one hit in his career against Alvernia. It was a triple back in Baltimore. That one misses up, 2-1. Hopkins coaches will expect Darwich to be the guy that Ryan Orgallevich is this year behind the plate. Slow ground ball left side. Fielded by Gaynor. High throw, but Briner goes up and gets it. 2 gone in the 6th. Three in a row retired since the Orgallevich home run. Mike Eberle 0 for 2 will stand in. 5 hits for the Blue Jays. First pitch. Bit low and in. 1-0. I never believed in the expression of a team, they score a lot of runs or save some runs for the next game, or you get all these hits, save some hits for the next game. But Hopkins, as Eberle smokes one into the corner and right, that is a foul ball, and the count goes to 1-1. Never believed that expression, but, Hopkins yesterday, 15 runs, 20 hits. Maybe if you even it out, it's a bit of a closer game here today. Mike looking for his first this evening. The lights have taken complete effect. No sign of the sun anymore here in York. Now Eberle hits one high in the air, deep right, but Dubas has it lined up. Shy of the track, he makes the grab, and Eberle is 0 for 3. Second time today, Dylan Dunn has retired the Blue Jays in order. We head to the home half of the 6th inning with Alvernia on top, 8-4. Ian Schaefer will get things started. Schaefer, Briner, and Dubas against Nick Burns out for his second inning of work. Fastball up and away, 1-0. Harrison Swartz with you here from the press box at People Bank Park, home of the York Revolution, co-host of this 2017 Mid-Atlantic Regional Tournament with the MAC Conference. Line to left field, there's a base hit. On the day, Schaefer on base in all 4 plate appearances. 2 walks, 2 singles. Hit number 11 for Alvernia. Matt Briner will stand in. 1 for 2, an RBI, a walk, and a run scored. There have been a number of number 1 seeds to go down in regional tournaments so far, today and yesterday. Bunn is laid down here to the mound. Nick Burns fields, spins, and gets him at first base. So the 5th inning begins the same exact way the 6th inning does here. A single from Gaynor in the 5th and the sac bunt from Rieger here in the 6th. Schaefer singles, then Briner moves him to second base. 4 sacrifice bunts in the game for the team that does it almost more than anybody in Division III baseball. 1 gone for Nick Burns, Ben Dubas stands in. RBI for him earlier on a sacrifice fly to center field. Lefty-lefty battle here. First pitch hits him. Earlier there was some controversy that the pitch hit Dubas, and this time, for sure, home plate umpire Luke Kammermeyer says that hit him. Now Franco Esposito will stand in. But back to the 1 seeds. You know, we mentioned earlier the 1 seed in the West, Texas Tyler. They went 2 and done. The number 3 team in the country is done for the season. Worcester, the 1 seed in the Mideast. They lost yesterday before coming back today and defeating Misericordia 12-0. Salisbury was blown out yesterday by Roanoke 15-5, and they came back today and won 6-4. First pitch here, slow roller left side. Connor Reynolds fields, only play is to first. That's where he'll go. The throw across his body gets Esposito in plenty of time. 2 away. Now, though, Alvernia with 2 men in scoring position. Schaefer at third, Dubas at second. And then other top seeds, not maybe number 1. La Roche, they're 2 and done. They lost yesterday, and then they had to face Cortland State today. That's a tough matchup on day 2 in an elimination game, and Cortland won that game 10-2. And then nearly avoiding upsets, other top seeds, UMass Boston. They almost lost yesterday to Penn State Berks. That game went to extras and they won. Shenandoah avoided disaster last night against SUNY Maritime here at Peoples Bank Park. They won that game 5-3. And Oswego State, who won the SUNY conference because of a rainout. The entire tournament was rained out. They're the 1 seed up in the New York region. This one hit out to right field, and they've won 2 games by 1 run. Brian Lynn is under it, makes the grab, and the inning comes to an end. So Alvernia strands 2 men in scoring position against Nick Burns. He is not allowed to run through 2, and through 6, Alvernia has left 9 men on base. Crusaders on top 8-4. We head to the 7th inning here at Peoples Bank Park. You're watching the 2017 Mid-Atlantic Regional Baseball Tournament.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
Joe Conlon stands in. Top of the 7th underway with a called strike from Dylan Dunn. The Crusaders starter still out there working. His team on top 8-4. He has thrown 88 pitches. There's no activity in the Alvernia pen, though. Conlon lays off a fastball here at 85, a little low and outside. Top of the order on deck for the Blue Jays and Connor Reynolds, then Brian Lynn. Conlon bounces one foul right side down towards the Blue Jay first base coach, Gabby Castellano. 1-2 the count from Dunn to Conlon. Joe singled back in the second off the righty. And then Dunn got him swinging in the fourth. So Joe's 1 for 2. 2 for 5 in the tournament. 1-2 on the way. Conlon hits one high in the air to left field. Going back, Esposito. He turns and watches it smack off the arch nemesis. Conlon is going to have a leadoff double here in the 7th inning. Has himself a multi-hit ball game. And the Jays have 6 hits tonight. That's his 6th multi-hit game of the year. Hopkins yesterday, their offense in those 20 hits of theirs, all 9 starters had a hit. 11 guys total recorded a hit. 6 of those guys had multi-hit performances, including the man standing in, Connor Reynolds, and he himself was one of 3 Blue Jays to record 3 hits on the afternoon. Looking to get something going here. Connor's bat has been quiet tonight. Man in scoring position, he's 0 for 3. Nobody out. He'll face Dylan Dunn for the 4th time. A spin and no throw to second base. Conlon back on his feet. Second 2-bagger of the evening for Hopkins. Of their 6 hits, 4 are extra base hits. Brian Lynn and Mike Smith have the singles. There's a called strike to Connor, 0-1. By the way, for Joe, that's just his 5th double this year. First baseman Matt Briner in for Alvernia. Rest of the infield and outfield straight up. 0-1. Reynolds pops one up foul and back out of play on the right side. 0-2. A strikeout, a pop out, and a ground out for the senior shortstop. Getting his first at bat since the 4th inning. 0 for his last 5 at the plate. Looking to extend that 33-game reach base streak we told you about earlier. Open stance for the shortstop. And the 0-2 from Dunn. Ooh, that curveball looked good. I cannot believe that was not called a strike. From here, that looked like it landed right down the middle. And Kammermeyer called it a ball, 1-2. Brian Lynn on deck for Hopkins. They trail 8-4. 1-2. Reynolds grounded, fair down the third base line and into the corner. Joe Conlon will be sent home by Babb. Reynolds racing towards second base. The throw not in time, and the score is now 8-5. Back-to-back 2-baggers for the Blue Jays. And that'll get the Crusader bullpen up and moving. Connor Reynolds picks up his 4th hit of the tournament, 3rd extra base hit. He's now doubled in 7 of his last 8 games. So now Hopkins with 2 unanswered runs since they were down 8-3. Long mound meeting here. The entire infield in talking with Dylan Dunn. Like we said, there is activity in the Alvernia bullpen. I cannot see who it is. From my vantage point, I can see there's a catcher. Can't see the pitcher, though. So back-to-back doubles. It's a 3-run lead now for Alvernia. Brian Lynn will stand in. He has a single and a run scored today, a combined 1 for 3 off Dunn. RBI opportunity for him with Reynolds at second base. Brian with 4 hits this tournament. Tied for the team lead with the Blue Jays and Connor Reynolds. Spin and a look back to second base. No throw. I can hear from the press box how loud right now the Blue Jay dugout is. It's the loudest they've been since they were up 3-0 back in the top of the first. First pitch to Lynn. Outside, 1-0. It looked as though for a little bit that Dunn was losing some velocity on his fastball, but that one came back in at 88. The fastest I've seen him throw tonight. 4 away from 100 pitches. The 1-0 to Bryan. Foul out of play on the left side. The deficits have not been big for Hopkins this year in all these comeback wins for them during their 20-game win streak. Any come from behind victory, in fact, this year. They have not been extremely large deficits. 1-1. That'll miss low and outside, 2-1. And in fact, this year, in Hopkins' 6 losses, they haven't lost by more than 3 runs to any opponent. They lost by 3 to St. John Fisher. They lost by 3 to Worcester. They lost by 1 to Plymouth State. Lost by 2 to Muhlenberg. This one lined to right field. That's a base hit. Reynolds will be held at third base. He had to wait to see if that ball would get past the second baseman, Mike Cirilli. He went full extension, couldn't come up with it. And now the Blue Jays have men on the corners against Dunn. Time is called. Here comes Yogi Lutz. And Dunn throws 99 pitches and will see his night come to a close. He was phenomenal for 6 innings tonight. And this inning, he's fallen apart, giving up 3 consecutive hits. The Blue Jays with 2 on and nobody out, trailing by just 3. And the heart of the order coming up. Yogi Lutz makes the call to the pen. And it's a bullpen game for each team the rest of the night. We'll take a short break, introduce the new Alvernia pitcher when we return. Antonio Baglivo becomes the new pitcher for Alvernia. 5'9", 165. He's a senior from, bear with me here, Lake Ronkonkoma, New York. That's a mouthful, Lake Ronkonkoma. Tough situation for him to inherit. He gets to face the heart of the Blue Jay lineup. Mike Smith, Ryan Orgallevich, Tommy Meadu up. His team on top by 3, 8-5. And there are men on the corners with nobody out. Third to first move, nobody moving. No throw from Baglivo. Last time out for him, May 7th against Widener. 2.82 ERA for him on the year. And this fastball up and away to Mike Smith. 1-0. Just over 22 innings of work, 20 hits, 7 runs. He has struck out 20 while walking 7. 3 doubles, no other extra base hits allowed. And he's hit a batter. 1-0 upstairs, missed badly. 2 balls and no strikes. And now you're going to have Kyle Gaynor walk over and try to calm down his reliever. By the way, Dylan Dunn, you can't close the book on him yet. He threw 99 pitches, went 6+, gave up 8 hits, struck out 6, didn't walk a batter. Overall, a solid outing, but he's responsible for both runners on base, and his stat line could look worse than how he really pitched. Another fastball upstairs, 3-0. Now, you don't want to walk Mike Smith here to load the bases because look who's on deck. Ryan Orgallevich, who's 3 for 3 with 2 home runs tonight. Reynolds at third, Lynn at first. 3-0 coming, and it misses out. There's your 4-pitch walk. Gave him 4 fastballs, 2 missed up, 1 missed in, 1 missed out. Eighth walk issued by Baglevo this year. In steps Ryan Orgallevich. 2-run blast in the first. Doubled off the arch nemesis in the third. Opposite field blast over the head of Ben Dubas onto the home run perch in right field in the fifth. 12 home runs this year. Team leader, Centennial Conference leader in RBIs. 4 straight fastballs from Baglevo, all out of the zone. First pitch to Ryan. Breaking ball, in for a strike. Don't think Ryan was expecting that, but I also don't think he was going to swing. He's behind 0-1. Baglevo kind of squares his body towards the plate to look for the sign from Carbonara. Now comes set and squares towards third. Another breaking ball. Look out. That one nearly hits Ryan. Backs out of the way of that one. I'll tell you, something I haven't seen this tournament so far for the umpires. I have not seen one umpire call a batter back to the plate that's been hit by a pitch. And that was aggressively called during the regular season. Another breaking ball. That's up and in. 2-1. So 3 straight curveballs to Ryan Orgallevich here. All 3 hits for him have come on fastballs tonight from Dylan Dunn. Bases loaded. Tying run at first. Go-ahead run for Hopkins at the plate. 2-1. Outside. 3-1 the count. Alvernia, especially the right side of the infield, looking at Mike Cirilli and Matt Briner, throw their hands up in disbelief that was not called a strike. Let's see if Baglevo is just throwing around Ryan or if he really can't find the zone. He's thrown 8 pitches, 7 for balls. 3-1. Up and away. He'll walk in a run. 9 pitches, 8 balls. It's a 2-run deficit now. Alvernia on top, 8-6. Still nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. Easy RBI for Ryan. He's got a 4 RBI night. Tommy Mee will stand in to hit for Hopkins. He goes down and talks to his head coach prior to standing in. Hopkins has scored 4 unanswered. 3 unanswered runs. It's an 8-6 game. Tommy today has not been on base safely. Big cut there, swung right through the fastball at 87. 0-1. Reached on the error back in the first, a fly out in the third, and grounded out in the fifth to Mike Cirilli at second base, who made one outstanding play near the bag at second base. Just got the speedy Mee by a hair. Breaking ball in for strike 2. Oh, that curveball from Baglevo, lots of break on it. He's frozen both Ryan Orgallevich the first time he saw it. Now Tommy Mee the first time he sees it. John Hayden on deck for Johns Hopkins. 0-2. Up and away. He got Tommy to chase. So after 2 walks, Baglevo makes quick work of Tommy Mee, gets him on 3 pitches. Nice bounce back at bat for the senior reliever. Picks up his first strikeout and 21st of the year. 1 gone. Now John Hayden, just looking to put the bat on the ball. He has struck out 3 times tonight, and the last time up he was called out looking on a ball he absolutely did not believe was called a strike. Golfed at 1 here, low and in, 0-1. Baglevo 2-0 on the year with 3 saves. 0-1. Up and in, look out. That nearly hits Hayden. His wins this year came at Lebanon Valley College on April the 2nd and against Widener in the MAC Commonwealth Tournament on May 7th. An out time called. A ball from the bullpen on Alvernia's end comes into the field of play, so a bit of a delay between the second and third pitches to John Hayden. A base hit could tie things up here for Hopkins. They trail 8-6. 2 run-ins so far this inning. Hayden chases one in the dirt. Nasty curveball. And now Baglevo ahead 1-2. Activity in the Hopkins bullpen as well. Might just be Nick Burns, who has had quite a long wait. Going down to throw some warm-up tosses. Low and inside here to Hayden, 2-2. The Alvernia dugout thought they had it. Hayden might have caught a break there. Baglevo more appearances than anybody in this Crusaders bullpen. His 17th appearance this year. Here's the 2-2. Hayden swings and misses. He is 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. And there's the golden sombrero. Not a good night for John Hayden. Can't put the bat on the ball. Bases remain loaded with 2 away for John Hopkins. A rough start for Baglevo. Has done a nice job the last 2 batters he's faced. Now it's up to Alex Darwich. Darwich hit by a pitch, and he's hitless, 0 for 2 on the evening. Kid that has some power. First pitch, upstairs, 1-0. Darwich, 3 home runs on the year. Many more than 3 in his college career. (1-0). Line to right field. That could be trouble. It's towards the corner, and it's foul. Foul by about a foot or 2. Darwich had the right idea. The Blue Jays have gone down that way a couple of times tonight, but each have landed foul. 1-1 the count. Speaking of home runs, interesting story on Alex Darwich. His first career game, first career at bat, first pitch he ever saw at the college level, he hit a home run. It came at Swarthmore on April 11th of 2015. Fouls this one back and out of play. 1-2 the count. Lots of ball game left if you're Hopkins, but you don't want to strand the bases loaded. They've left 4 on base so far tonight. Alvernia's left on 9. One, 2 on the way. Outside, 2-2. I was almost expecting Cameron Meyer to call that one a strike, as it seems as though He's called quite a few outside pitches right there, a strike tonight. But, hey, I can't figure out the strike zone either. Alvernia seems to be a bit frustrated with it here, too. 2-2 coming. Swing and a miss. He got him. Baglevo comes in and strikes out this side, and Hopkins strands the bases loaded. How about that? Yogi Lutz goes to the bullpen. It didn't look good at first. Baglevo walked the first 2 batters he faced, including walking in a run. Hopkins picks up 2, but again, strand the bases loaded. It is 8-6 Alvernia after 6.5, and it's stretch time here at Peoples Bank Park. We'll take a short break and come back for the Alvernia half of the 7th. All right, howdy, folks. Bottom 7 here. Harrison Swartz with you. Peoples Bank Park for Game 7 of this tournament, the 3rd game today. Nick Burns back out to work, his 3rd inning of relief. First pitch, grounded fair down the third base line and into the corner. Kyle Gaynor is going to have a 3-hit night as he glides into second base with a leadoff double. 12th hit for Alvernia. And they're looking to strike back and pick up some of those runs they gave up to Hopkins in the 7th inning. Top of the order, Colin Rieger will stand in. Well, one time through the order, Nick Burns has allowed 3 hits, has hit a batter, a couple of sack bunts on Alvernia's part, but has not allowed a run. For Hopkins, 6 of the 8 Alvernia runs charged to Nick Bodner, and then the other 2 charged to Josh Hedgka. Pitch to Rieger. He shows bunt and pulls back, and it misses up and away. 1-0. Well, each of the 3 innings Nick Burns has thrown tonight, he has allowed the leadoff man to record a hit. Kyle Gaynor twice, and Ian Schaefer in the 6th inning. And the very next batter for Alvernia has put down a sacrifice bunt. Rieger has one tonight. He's put down a bunt twice. Got on being a hit once. Puts one down to third base here. Smith, bare hands, goes to first, where Eberle, the second baseman, is. He'll make the grab, and there's out number 1. Down to third base goes Kyle Gaynor. Can you imagine if Alvernia and Shenandoah play tomorrow night? How many bunts would be laid down in that ball game? Let's set the over-under at 20. Might be a bit too high, but there will be a lot of bunts. 1 down, in steps Mike Cirilli. An insurance run, just 90 feet away. Entire Hopkins infield drawn in. First pitch at the knees for a strike. 0-1. Mentioned earlier, Nick Burns has thrown on this field before. He made a start in the Mid-Atlantic Regional back in 2015 for Johns Hopkins in an elimination game against Misericordia. They were expecting maybe a bunt here. Mike Smith comes in. That pitch misses way up and away. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Connor Reynolds, the shortstop, went over towards third. Maybe expecting a bunt. Maybe trying some pickoff move. One coming in, and that just misses low and inside. Nick Burns thought he had strike 2. But in that game, Nick, as a freshman, having to face Misericordia, a team that beat them in round 1 of the tournament that year, came out and threw a gem, gave his team a chance to win. Hopkins ultimately won that game and got the right to play Alvernia the next day. Called strike, a breaking ball hits on the inside corner, 2-2. Hopkins pitching coaches Andrew Furman and Ryan Graves, you've asked them about Nick Burns' career. They will say they think that is probably Nick's best start of his collegiate career. And speaking of Ryan Graves, out of the Hopkins dugout he comes. He's going to go out and talk to his reliever. So we'll take a look around at other regionals and let you know about some scores. UMass Boston in the top of the 9th on top of Babson 4-0. Birmingham Southern, they went final. They beat Webster 6-4. Birmingham Southern, the 1 seed in that region. Southern Maine defeated TC&J 10-1. Out in Washington, PA, Washington and Jefferson on top of Earlham 15-6. That game in the bottom of the 7th inning. In Tyler, Texas at Irwin Field, Cal Lutheran and Centenary in the bottom of the 1st are scoreless. Top 5 in Illinois, North Central on top of Wartburg 4-3. And in the bottom of the 1st in Danville, Virginia, the number 1 team in the country, LaGrange, on top of Rowan 1-0. Still quite a few games yet to get underway. Oh, by the way, another final and an upset. University of Wisconsin La Crosse defeated UW Whitewater 4-2. Whitewater, the 1 seed, out in the Midwest regional. Orion Graves comes out. He's in fact going to make a pitching change. Nick Burns will see his evening come to a close. And for the 2nd time today, 3rd time in this tournament, the Blue Jays will make a pitching change in the middle of an at-bat. Mike Cirilli, in a 2-2 count, will now get to face Cam Mineo, a senior from San Antonio, Texas, who threw in yesterday's game against Leslie. We'll take a short break and come right back to York, PA. Nick Burns tonight goes 2 1/3 innings. He was the 3rd Blue Jay pitcher. Gave up 3 hits on the evening. Alvernia has 12. Cam Mineo now in the ball game. Hopkins infield remains in. Outfield shallow as well. You cannot allow that run at third base to score if you're Hopkins. That runner at third, Kyle Gaynor, who led off the inning with a double, and then was moved to third base on a sac bunt from Colin Rieger. 2-2 the count, one away. Minio will not deliver to Cirilli because Cirilli calls time. Nick Burns faced 11 batters. Gave up a double, hit a batter, did not strike out or walk anybody. No decision for him, but he is responsible for the runner at third base. Could be charged with a run. Now a move to third. Maybe not expecting that was Kyle Gaynor as he got back in a little later than I expected. Cirilli 0 for 3 tonight with a sac bunt. 2-2. Bunt, he's coming home. It's a squeeze. Minio fields. The run scores to first. Got him at first base. But Alvernia picks up an insurance run, a huge one. They go up 9-6. The squeeze works. Kyle Gaynor crosses the plate for the second time tonight. Mike Cirilli, an RBI. That one goes 1-3, 2 gone. He placed that one perfectly. Now the base is empty with 2 away for Nathan Sides. He'll get a slider in for a strike at 79. 0-1. Sides has been on base 3 times tonight. Scored twice. Couple of base knocks. Now he shows bunt and looked silly right there. Trying to chase after one low and away. Count goes to 0-2. Defense for Hopkins now straight up again. 0-2 slider, got him swinging. Nathan Sides retired for just the second time tonight, but Alvernia, a huge run, the squeeze play. Kyle Gaynor crosses on the bunt laid down by Mike Cirilli back to the mound. Through 7, Alvernia on top of Johns Hopkins, 9-6. You're watching the 2017 Mid-Atlantic Regional Baseball Tournament.
It's on us. It's on all of us. And it's time to act now.
It's on us to start the change. It's on us to be the change. It's on us. It's on Division III. It's on all of us to stop sexual assault.
Back here in New York, Harrison Swartz with you. Glad you're sticking around tonight. Pretty good ball game on our hands. Alvernia on top of the top-seeded Hopkins 9-6. Even though they're the top seed, they're the away team tonight. I've been asked a few times by some people why Hopkins is the visiting team if they're the top seed. And to be honest, I don't understand the rule. But I've seen it over the last 2 regionals for multiple teams. Fastball inside to Mike Eberle. From Antonio Baglivo, 1-0. It'll be Eberle, Conlin, and Reynolds in the 8th. 1-0 coming. Up and away, 2-0. But yeah, Hopkins, top seed, the away team. They switched dugouts because the home dugout here for the Mid-Atlantic Regional is on the third base side. 2-0 coming. Low and away, 3-0. Baglivo came on in the 7th in relief of Dylan Dunn. And by the way, Dylan Dunn, final line on him, 6+, 8 hits, 6 runs, 6 strikeouts. And Baglevo walked the first two batters he faced, including one with the bases loaded, then struck out Tommy Mee swinging, John Hayden swinging, and Alex Darwich swinging, and the Blue Jays left the bases loaded. Eberle there taking all the way, now in a 3-1 count. Outside, a 5-pitch walk, and the leadoff man reaches for the second straight inning for Johns Hopkins. First time Eberle's been on base tonight. It's a season high in walks allowed by Baglevo. His previous high was 2. That came one time against the Stevens Institute of Technology. Conlon laces one to right field. There's a base hit. Back-to-back men on for Johns Hopkins. Joe Conlon has himself a 3-hit day. That's his third 3-plus hit game of the year. His season high in hits is 4. It came against McDaniel College back in early April. So Joe Conlon now with 4 hits. In steps Connor Reynolds. Represents the tying run. Nobody out in the top of the 8th. Alvernia on top 9-6. Connor hit a home run yesterday. We mentioned that earlier. Right over top the arch nemesis. If you can see out there, it's that big York Daily Record advertisement. He hit it right over top of that. First pitch to him, a fastball up and in, 1-0. Decent velocity from Baglevo, hitting the upper 80s. But we've seen command issues at times. We haven't seen his breaking ball much here in the 8th inning, which he featured near the end of the 7th, and he dazzled with it. 1-0. Reynolds bounces one foul just down the third base line. Paul Thompson was right on that one and signaled immediately. Would have been a tough play for Kyle Gaynor. Would have had to play a short hop and hope he could keep it with him. Eberle way off the bag at second base. May have been able to get to third. Would have been a close play if he keeps it with him. But luckily for him, it's ruled foul. It skips past him. 1-1 the count to Connor Reynolds. Now the senior shortstop calls time. One. Breaking ball lifted in the air out to right field. That one is falling, and it hangs up for Ben Dubas. The right fielder makes the grab. Another phenomenal play by him, covering so much ground out there. We have one away in the 8th inning. It's now Connor Reynolds 1 for 5 tonight. Another meeting at the mound here. It looks like everybody in the infield but Matt Briner and Kyle Gaynor. Brian Lynn will stand in again from the left side. He has not hit from the right side yet this tournament. Entered today hitting .328 as a lefty. First pitch to him, right there at the knees for a strike. 0-1. You continue to see that water being thrown out of the bottles by Alvernia players. They have a giant puddle, or at least the dirt warning track in front of their dugout, extremely wet right in front of them. 0-1. Line foul the opposite way. 0-2. Now this is where Baglevo was good an inning ago. Getting ahead of Tommy Mee, John Hayden, and Alex Darwich. He could throw that breaking ball that seemed to freeze all of them. Still have a game to play tonight. Shenandoah and Wheaton. They'll play about 45 minutes after this one concludes. Pitch to Lynn, fastball upstairs. And again, the winner of this one will play the winner of Wheaton and Shenandoah tomorrow at 4:30. The loser of this one plays at 10 a.m. against Elizabethtown. Hopkins had to go that route here in 2015. 1-2. Lynn takes it the opposite way and foul again. That one hits off the concourse and one hops out of the stadium. Lynn, another multi-hit night. Both he and his teammate Ryan Orgallevich with 20 multi-hit performances on the year. Hopkins down 3, their 20-game win streak in danger of ending. Breaking ball bounced right side. It'll be tough to turn 2, fielded by Briner. Flipped to first base in time to get Lynn. Gets him by a step or two. Now 2 away. Both Blue Jay runners moving to scoring position. Mike Smith will stand in. Eberly at third. Joe Conlon at second. Mike Smith tonight, 1 for 3, a walk, an RBI, and a run scored. Base hit here could bring in 2. Outfield playing pretty deep for Alvernia. And now Baglivo steps off. There continues to be activity in the Crusaders bullpen. Nobody in the Blue Jay bullpen. First pitch, Mike Smith, ground ball left side. Gaynor keeps it with him, but he can't keep it too close as Smith gets to first. No throw. Eberly comes in to score, and it's a 9-7 ball game. It looked as though Gaynor kept that one in front of him at first, and then it just kept rolling away over towards Nathan Sides at shortstop. Joe Conlon to third. Mike Smith on at first now. It looks like they're calling that one an error. That's a tough error on Kyle Gaynor. That's a tough one. And here you go. You are going to intentionally walk Ryan Orgallevich. No brainer here. You're going to put him on, the man who tonight has 2 home runs, a double, and a walk. I believe this is the 3rd time this year Ryan has been intentionally walked. It'll load the bases for Tommy Mee. It's a 2-run ball game now. That's the first Blue Jay run not charged to Dylan Dunn. Count is currently 3-0. 1 more to Ryan, and the bases will be loaded. And there you go. So Joe Conlon, he's on at third. He's singled. Mike Smith, he's at second. He reached on the error by Kyle Gaynor, and now Ryan Orgallevich intentionally walked. In steps Tommy Mee. Tommy yesterday. Tommy went 2 for 4. A couple of RBIs. Tonight, he's had a rough one. 0 for 4. He's been on base once. An error by Nathan Sides back in the first. Stole a base that inning, but still an 0 for 4. Base hit here could tie things up at 9. First pitch. Hit out to deep left field, actually center field. Under it, Colin Rieger. He makes the grab, and the inning is over. Tommy Mee gets a first pitch fastball, swings at it, hits it deep, but not deep enough. An easy fly ball out for Rieger. And for the second straight inning, the Blue Jays strand the bases loaded. They have left 10 men on base this evening. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Alvernia leads 9-7. You're watching the 2017 Mid-Atlantic Regional Baseball Tournament.
This is our It's On Us pledge. It's on us to make a personal commitment to help keep all people safe from sexual assault, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, or ability.
Not to be bystanders to the problem, but to be leaders of the solution. We invite you to join us in this campaign by informing your campuses about the It's On Us mission.
Sticking to the chair.
off all right. He was all right at first. He really picked it up in our spring trip in Florida. We do a 11-game trip to Fort Myers every year. Okay. And he hit like 2 or 3 home runs down there, and yeah.
2 bombs this one. I mean,
Yeah. We hit one here in 2015 too. Yeah.
Cam Mineo back out to work the 8th. He'll face Ian Schaefer. First pitch, a fastball at the knees for strike 1. 9-7 Alvernia, bottom of the 8th inning. They will take a lead, no matter what, into the top of the 9th, with a chance to be the team that ends the longest win streak in Division III baseball for Hopkins, which currently stands at 20. Schaefer's been on base 4 times tonight. He's 2 for 2 with a couple of walks. Right now in a 2-1 count with Cam Mineo. Mineo came on to face the final 2 batters of the 7th. The squeeze from Cirilli brought in a run, and then he struck out Nathan Sides. 3-1 the count. (3-1) there at the knees for strike 2. That was the location of the first pitch of the at-bat. Another called strike by home plate umpire Lou Kammermeyer. Schaefer thought he had his 3rd walk of the night. Now on a 3-2 count. Here's the payoff pitch from Mineo. Right there for a called strike 3. Now back-to-back pitches. Ian Schaefer thought he had ball 4 and shakes his head in disagreement with Kammermeyer. Threw the bat, was about 5 feet down towards first, and now walks back towards the third base side dugout. 1 gone, in steps Matt Briner. Briner tonight, sack bunt, single and a run scored. He walked, picked up an RBI as well. First pitch, right there for a strike. That fastball just at 79 from Mineo. Again, he will not overpower you, but he has a nasty slider. Just a kid that pounds the zone, as you can see right there, back-to-back fastballs. That one even slower at 77, 0-2. Bouncing ball, this one over top of the mound. Eberle fields it behind the bag at second. Throw to first base in time. Dave Snyder punches out. Matt Briner gets him by a step or 2. Nice play by Eberle. Knew he had some time. Waited for that baseball. Fielded it cleanly and made a strong throw to first base. 2 gone. 4 in a row retired by Mineo. For Hopkins in the 9th, it will be John Hayden, Alex Darwich, and Mike Eberle. It'll be interesting to see if Bob Babb pinch hits for John Hayden, who tonight is 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. This one foul tipped off the mask of Alex Darwich, 0-1. 9-7 Alvernia. They scored 3 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the fourth, and got an insurance run in the 7th. For Hopkins, 3 in the first, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 7th, and then 1 more in the 8th. Each team has left 10 men on base tonight. Hopkins, the bases loaded in the 7th and the 8th. Swing and a miss there, 0-2. You had the worst start of the year from Nick Bodner, who went just an inning and a third, giving up 6 runs. Josh Hedgka allowed 2 earned runs, tied a season high. And then Nick Burns did a nice job in relief, giving up just 1 run in 2 and a third. And Dylan Dunn, he pitched much better than his line shows. He went 6+. Upstairs here, 1-2. And it'll read that he gave up 6 earned runs, but trust me, if you missed it, Dunn pitched much better. He pitched much better than that. 1-2 from Mineo. Swing and a miss. And it's a 1-2-3 bottom of the 8th. Mineo's pumped up, trying to get his team pumped up because they need 2 runs if they plan on sending this thing either to the bottom of the 9th or if they want to take the lead and try to win it in the bottom of the ninth. Well, Antonio Baglivo back out to pitch. Needs 3 more outs to get the save. His team on top 9-7 as we head to the ninth inning here at Peoples Bank Park.
New left fielder, 47, Joe Icabellis.
Your attention, please. Now playing left field for Alvernia, number 47, Joe Icabellis.
All right, some changes for you as we head to the top of the ninth. A new left fielder for Alvernia, Joe Icabellis, enters the game for Franco Esposito. And now pinch hitting for John Hayden, Tim Kutcher. We mentioned in the bottom of the 8th inning that Bob Babb might pinch hit for him. 0 for 4 with 4 hit by pitches. And hey, the short righty comes in, Tim Kutcher, hit by a pitch on the shoulder, and he's on base. That'll bring the tying run to the plate for Johns Hopkins. Kutcher brings a speed element as well. Alex Darwich stands in. There continues to be activity in the Alvernia pen. Baglivo has pitched since the 7th inning. He's thrown 44 pitches. Time was called by Hopkins head coach Bob Babb to signal signs to his new hitter, Alex Darwich. First pitch, up and in. He's nearly hit with a fastball. 1-0. Can't feel good to be hit with a Baglivo fastball. Coming in at 88-89. Crusaders infield double play depth. Pitch to Darwich, bounced foul over top of his head coach. 1-1 the count. Darwich hit by a pitch back in the first. Since then, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. He is 0 for 1 against Baglivo with a strikeout swinging in the 7th. Left the bases loaded. 1-1. Breaking ball inside. 2-1 the count. Mike Eberle on deck for Hopkins, and then Joe Conlon. And then if needed, we head back to the top of the order. 2-1 coming in. Darwich fouls one off the front of the Alvernia dugout, 2-2. Luckily for Alvernia, I'm sure they're happy about this, that it's going to be a long time until Ryan Orgallevich could come up and hit. He would be due up 8th in the inning. 2-2 to Alex Darwich from Baglivo. He comes home. Darwich hits one high in the air out to right. Dubas over near the foul line, over near the bullpen. That one lands foul. Couldn't see that one. Lost sight of Dubas in the far corner, down near the foul pole and the 325 sign. You have a bullpen down there, and you have the mound you have to battle with, and that can always be tough. I'm not sure if he had to deal with that or not. Just had to wait for Dave Snyder to put up the hands to signal foul ball or out. 2-2. Darwich again lifts one up foul and back out of play, battling here with Baglivo. Darwich just one hit in his career against Alvernia. Two again. Hit into the gap in left center field. That is down, and it's going to roll to the wall. Tim Kutcher racing around second base, heading to third. He'll get there standing. Darwich slides into second with a double. Back-to-back men reach for Hopkins, and they have the tying run in scoring position now. Alex Darwich now with 2 hits in his career against Alvernia, both of them extra base hits. Third double of the night for Hopkins. Mike Eberle will stand in now. Again, the tying run in scoring position for the Blue Jays, and they've hit the double-digit hit mark for the second consecutive day in the NCAA Regional. Another mound meeting. Maybe a stalling tactic for the bullpen to throw a bit more. Baglivo worked into some trouble he inherited some trouble in the 7th. Worked into some trouble in the 8th, limited the damage to just 1. Now, a really big spot. Baglivo, one of the best relievers in the Commonwealth Conference. I don't care who you are, this is a tough spot. Corners are in, middle infield back, outfield playing straight up. First pitch to Mike Eberle. Fouled back to the screen, 0-1. Eberle's hit the ball hard a couple of times tonight towards the right field corner. Each time, though, foul. He walked and scored in the 8th inning against Baglivo. Breaking ball here, hits on the outer edge for strike 2. Eberle turns around and asks Hammermeyer where that was, and I'm sure he said right on the outside corner. Nice breaking ball. And the count is 0-2. Kutcher at third, Darwich at second. Nobody out. Pitch coming home. That'll bounce about 3 or 4 feet in front of the plate. And it's blocked by Carbonara. Carbonara's done a nice job tonight behind the plate. Again, he's making just his 6th start as a catcher this year. 1-2 now to Eberle. Only infielder in is at third in Kyle Gaynor. 1-2 up. 2-2. If you're thinking home run, Eberle has one this year, and it actually came here in York at York College back in March. And now time called by Eberle at the plate, granted by Kammermeyer. It'll be an early morning for whoever wins this ball game. Tough to turn around. You're approaching 10 p.m. You play at 10 a.m. tomorrow. 2-2 to Eberle, laced foul and smacking off the metal bench of the Alvernia bullpen. Count remains 2-2. But in a stress-filled ball game for, I'm sure, both of these teams, the winner gets some much-needed rest tonight and will play at 4:30 tomorrow. 2-2. Eberle, ground ball left side, base hit. Hopkins will get one. That went right to the left fielder, Joe Icabellis. Eberle picks up his first hit tonight, and it's a one-run game. It is now 9-8 Alvernia. So Tim Kutcher comes on as a pinch hitter for John Hayden. Hit by a pitch. Gets to third on the Darwich double. Darwich now down at third. And now he scores on the Mike Eberle base knock. Eberle with 4 hits in the tournament. Not sure what's going on here. Maybe Carbonara out signaling to his infield. Now the middle infield back. Briner holding on the runner at first. Third baseman Kyle Gaynor in. Nobody out. Question now, what do you do here? Double play opportunity, but a runner at third. If Darwich scores, the game is tied up at 9. First pitch to Conlon. Low and inside, 1-0. There was a time in this game where you almost felt like Hopkins was completely out of it. I think that mark was in the bottom of the 4th when Alvernia was up 8-3. 1-0. Conlon swing and a miss, a big cut there on the fastball. Big hole on the right side. Conlon tonight with 3 hits and a run scored. He also has struck out. And now time called. This again by Bob Babb, who will signal to his 2 base runners and his senior first baseman, who stands back in on the left side batter's box. He's in a 1-1 count. Pitch coming home. Fastball. A called strike, I believe. 1-2. Kind of an odd strike signal from Kammermeyer. I was a bit fooled on that one. I believe Joe Conlon was as well. But it looked like it hit the inside corner. 1-2 coming. Conlon hits one out to deep left field. Back is Ikabellis. That one's off the wall, and we have a tie game. That's going to be a long single. Darwich comes home. It is 9-9 now. Joe Conlon has his second 4-hit game of the year. And that's going to do it for Antonio Baglevo. He blows the save. Out comes Yogi Lutz. He will bring in his 3rd pitcher of the evening. And we will take a short break and introduce him when we return to the Mid-Atlantic Regional here in York, Pennsylvania. All right, folks, the new pitcher is Evan Young. He becomes the 3rd Crusaders pitcher tonight. A senior from Ephrata, PA, stands at 6'2", 175. Tough night for Antonio Baglevo. Looked good at times, shaky at others. He ended up giving up 4 hits. 3 strikeouts, 4 walks, hit a batter. Went 2+ tonight. Evan Young on the year, making just his 10th appearance. Very limited work for him, just over 13 innings. 11 hits, 5 runs, 2 earned. A bit wild, though. 6 strikeouts, 7 walks. Opponents hitting just .224 against him, though. Tough spot for him. Still nobody out in a 9-9 game. Mike Eberle's at second base. Joe Conlon is at first. Eberle at second represents the go-ahead run. Hopkins has not led in this ball game since the top of the first when they were up 1-0. Or excuse me, 3-0. Connor Reynolds will stand in for the 6th time tonight. He's 1 for 5. A spin and a look back to second. No throw. Last time out for Young, May 7th against Arcadia. Went 1 inning that day. No hits, no runs, no strikeouts. Nothing. Zeros across the board. A 1.35 ERA for the senior. Another spin and look back to second base and no throw. Reynolds still awaits his first pitch. His lone hit tonight, an RBI double in the 7th. First pitch. Bunt shown. He pulls back and it misses up. Carbonara came up like he was going to fire to first base, but nobody was covering. Matt Briner was coming in on the bunt, and nobody was out at second base. Eberle not too far off, though. Alvernia so close to ending that losing streak. They still could, but they could have had it here in the top of the 9th. Not out of it by a long shot. Connor Reynolds shows bunt again, and it misses up. 2-0. Alvernia has had a potent offense tonight. They sure as well can hit the ball. Each team with 12 hits tonight. Similar lines, 9 runs, 12 hits, 3 errors for each team. 2-0 to Reynolds. Bunt shown here, and it's fouled back to the screen. I've never been a fan of taking the bat out of one of your better hitters. Reynolds, of course, hitting .377 this year, 9 home runs, 33 RBIs. He has a home run this tournament, and he's shown bunt 3 times. I get moving the runners over to second and third, though. Just not with Connor. I don't like it. Bunt pulled back. It misses inside. Just on the opposite end, you've got Yogi Lutz giving bunts to Nathan Sides and Ben Dubas and everybody in his lineup. But obviously something they practice more than the Blue Jays, I'm sure of it, just based on the numbers. But even in a situation like this on either side, there's certain guys I just would never give the bunt sign to. It's a 3-1 count. Reynolds shows bunt, and it misses low and in. 5-pitch walk. Now the base is loaded. And we definitely won't see a bunt here from Brian Lynn. That's the 8th walk issued this year by Evan Young. And that's going to do it. Yogi Lutz back out to make another pitching change. He faces one batter and walks the Centennial Conference Player of the Year, 42nd walk for Connor Reynolds. We'll take another short break and come right back to Peoples Bank Park. Michael Griffin will become the 4th Crusaders pitcher tonight. Griffin pitched yesterday against RIT. In that game, he went an inning and a third, gave up 1 earned run, 1 hit, struck out a batter, and that lone run was a home run. He ended up facing 5 batters through just 12 pitches, so just a minor bullpen session. He's fresh. On the year, a 4.61 ERA, a couple of saves for him. No record to his name, and just under 14 innings of work, 13 2/3 total. Nobody out, bases loaded. Brian Lynn will bat from the right side for the first time tonight. First time all tournament, in fact. First pitch will miss low, ball 1. Brian, an average of 386 from the right side. Entire Alvernia infield in. A fly ball to anywhere in the outfield gives Hopkins the lead. Ground ball left side, diving stop by Gaynor. He comes home for 1 and, nearly a miscue by Carbonara. His foot was not on the plate. Recovers, though. Gets the job done, and he will step on the plate to retire Eberly. 1 away. Now, Yogi Lutz out once again. Another pitching change? You betcha. 1 batter Evan Young faces. Michael Griffin faces 1 batter. And here we go with yet another pitcher. Another short break. We right back to Peoples Bank Park. Zach Landy will become the 4th different Crusaders pitcher here in the 9th inning. They are throwing out everybody, trying to prevent Hopkins from taking a lead here. It is 9-9. Hopkins has the bases loaded. Joe Conlon's at third. Connor Reynolds at second. Brian Lynn at first. Mike Smith stands in. Kyle Gaynor saved a single off the bat of Brian Lynn, kept the score at 9-9. First pitch to Mike. Low and away, 1-0. Again, a fly ball to anywhere in the outfield gives Hopkins the lead. Not anywhere, I should say. A deep fly ball would give them the lead, but a fly ball does it. 1-0. Mike Smith, foul tip, and that one is going to hit Carbonara. Not sure where, but he is down and tries to get back up, and a bit slow. Yogi Lutz immediately out to look at him, and again, Carbonara down. Not sure where that hit him. May have hit him on the inner thigh. Mike Smith just got a piece of that one. Definitely painful, though. He's going to try to walk that one off. And rub some dirt on it, get back in there. Probably the biggest game of his life behind the plate. He's done a nice job tonight. Mike Smith in a 1-1 count here with Zach Landy, a sophomore from Massapequa, New York, a graduate of Massapequa High School. Stands at 6'1", 175. ERA on the year for him, 4.41. 1-1 coming in. Line back up the middle. There's a base hit. Hopkins will take the lead. Joe Conlon comes in to score. Bob Babb holds on Reynolds at third base. The Blue Jays have their first lead since the first inning. They're on top 10-9. Joe Conlon scores for the second time. Mike Smith picks up his second RBI single of the evening. And again, everyone up 90 feet. Bob Babb being very patient here. You got your best hitter coming up in Ryan Orgallevich. Can't intentionally walk him this time. They did so back in the 8th. First pitch, fastball low, 1-0. Ryan tonight, 5 at-bats. The 2-run shot in the first, double in the third, solo blast in the 5th, bases loaded walk in the 7th, and an intentional walk in the 8th. Not too shabby. Batting average at .399 on the year. 4 RBI night. He's looking to make it more. 0-1 hit high in the air to deep center field. Back is Rieger. Still going back at the warning track. He drops it. Flat out drops it at the wall. Reynolds is going to score. Here comes Brian Lynn. Racing to third base, Mike Smith. The throw gets away. He's going to come home now. And that throw out of play according to Paul Thompson. A bases clearing double and a throwing error. Hopkins now leads 13-9. Now Bob Babb is asking if Ryan Orgallevich scores on that one. Gabby Castellano, their first base coach, coming in talking to Luke Hammermeyer. And the umpires will get together to talk this one over. My goodness. This Hopkins ball club does not quit. They are back on top by 4. Umpires still talking to see if Ryan Orgallevich gets home, and they're going to say he goes to third. My goodness, what a ball game. At one point, Hopkins trailed 8-3. And now they're on top 13-9. They have scored 28 runs in the Mid-Atlantic Regional Tournament so far. Yogi Lutz draws in his entire infield here for Tommy Mee, the 9th batter of the 9th inning for Hopkins. First pitch low, 1-0. So that one ruled a double, I'd assume, for Orgallevich. And then the throw allows him to get to third base. That's where he is. Pitch to Tommy. There's a strike on the outer edge. 1-1, and Tommy doesn't like to call, asks about the strike zone. But again, Kammermeyer's been calling that pitch all night. And going back to the fly ball, Rieger tracked it perfectly. Tommy Mee fouls it straight back. 1-2 the count. Nothing showing up, but I believe it's 1-2. And he got under that ball in front of the scoreboard in right center, and again, just flat out dropped it. Ben Dubas got it back in quickly, and the throw from the cutoff man by, I believe, Mike Cirilli airmailed it over Gaynor at third. 1-2, look out, Tommy. Literally hit, not literally, excuse me. Wrong word there, almost hit in the head with that pitch. Still only 1 out. Hopkins, a 6 spot here in the 9th inning. Tommy Mee line foul. And off just beyond the Alvernia dugout. Well, you got to feel for the Alvernia guys. Thought they had this one in the bag. Hopkins just kept battling. If they can't come back from this one, it'll be a tough pill to swallow tomorrow morning when they're playing Elizabethtown. Can't count them out yet, though. Not by a long shot. I said that earlier. They've put up 9 runs and 12 hits tonight. No reason why they couldn't come back from this deficit in their half of the ninth. 2-2. Tommy, ground ball back to the mound. Orgallevich coming home. They have him in a pickle. Carbonara goes to third base. The swipe tag gets him on the back foot. Bob Babb can't believe the call. He immediately in Paul Thompson's face. Ryan Orgallevich thought he got under that tag. From my vantage point, it looked as though Gaynor applied the tag on the foot. Ryan is livid walking off the field, and he's being escorted by Luke Hammermeyer. And now his assistant coach, Jonas Fester, has to come out. Ryan is furious. My goodness, I've never seen Ryan that mad. The replay apparently... we're up in the air on the replay. Originally, maybe the replay guys thought safe. Now, not so sure. Close play nonetheless. Tim Kutcher stands in. Fly ball out to right. Dubas near the foul line makes a sliding attempt, and he will make the grab. Dave Snyder, signals out, and the inning is over. Hey, and now Hopkins mimicking Alvernia, and they're putting up the water bottles, spritzing it up in the air. Well, big inning, they're hype. 6 runs up in the ninth. They lead 13-9. Last chance for the Crusaders, down 4. Cam Mineo needs 3 outs to send Hopkins to the winner's bracket game tomorrow evening against the winner of Wheaton and Shenandoah. Don't leave us, folks. This ball game is good. Well, a ball game that's featured just about everything you could imagine. Hopkins on top 13-9. You've had 8 errors, 25 hits, 22 runs, a plethora of pitching changes. Cam Mineo throws a strike to Esposito, and the bottom of the ninth is underway, 0-1. Ground ball right side, right to Eberle. Conlon keeps his foot on the bag, 1 down. And by the way, my mistake, that was not Esposito. That was Joe Icabellis getting his first at-bat tonight. So Icabellis 0 for 1, 4-3 on that put out. Another pinch hitter here. It'll be Andrew Schoenblum. 429 mark on the year. Takes a called strike. Schoenblum 3 for 7 at the plate. He's in an 0-1 count here. Just the 4th game he's appeared in all year. Count goes to 0-2. If Cam Mineo can hold on here, he would pick up his team-leading 7th win of the year. 0-2. Slider got him swinging. He goes down on 3 pitches. If Hopkins can hold on here, 1 out to go, it'll be the first time they've come from 5 runs down to win a game since they were down 6-1 against Keystone back on March the 5th of this year. They won that game 7-6. First pitch, a bit upstairs, 1-0. Kyle Gaynor. He's been good today. 3 hits. Ground ball foul just outside the bag at third. What a day it's been here in York, PA. 15-inning contest this morning. Rain delay, 40 minutes between the two games. Now, a monumental comeback by Johns Hopkins. 1 strike away now from their 21st straight victory and a trip to the winner's bracket game tomorrow night. 1-2 from Mineo. Slider, check swing went too far and the ball game is over. Hopkins comes back to win 13-9. The Blue Jays are now 38-6 on the year, 10-3 in neutral site games. Alvernia falls to 29-14-2. They will take on Elizabethtown at 10 a.m. tomorrow. 13 runs, 13 hits, 3 errors for Hopkins, 9 runs, 12 hits, 5 errors for Alvernia. Winning pitcher Cam Mineo is 7-0. The losing pitcher is Antonio Baglivo. Goes 2+, gives up 4 hits. Rough one for him. Hopkins, the scheduled game for them tomorrow at 4:30. They will face the winner of Wheaton and Shenandoah. They are taking the field now for warm-ups and will play presumably around 10:30, 10:45 tonight. 10:45, that's first pitch for Shenandoah and Wheaton. Stick around for that one. Hopkins, once again, winners tonight, 13-9.
That was a crazy game.
It was.
Holy crap.
It was. It's been so much fun talking to these guys.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, jeez.
I mean, there's been this. We'd be 1 and 2 in the country on the same day.
That's right.
And 5, 6 playoffs, including 2
wow. Really?
Yeah. This team is crazy.
Wow. Okay.
Oh,
man. All right. Dude, you're fantastic.
Thank you
Do
very
you
much.
do all
I
the
appreciate
Hopkins?
it.
Do you do all
Yes,
the stuff?
I do just baseball.
Oh man, dude, you're awesome. I leave the stream up and I just listen to the background and I'm like, oh man, that's excellent. So
yeah, no, I do all their games. I travel them all year.
That's awesome, man. Well, you're fantastic.
Thank you very much.
I just want to let you know. That's awesome.
Appreciate it. Thank you. You be around tomorrow? What's the tournament?
Yeah, Blake and I will both be here. So man, what a game that was. Even when it was close, when they got down, it was 8-3. I was like, yo, I know Hopkins is scoring. Like, I don't know if. Yeah, that's just.
I don't know if you heard me say this stat tonight. So 21-game win streak,
yeah.
17 coming behind victories.
No, I didn't hear
during
that
stretch.
I heard you say about the pitchers. What 5 games in a row they had given up? Was it more than 4 runs?
It was actually 6. There was one on our sheet that wasn't listed, but yeah, 6 in a row. They hadn't allowed 4. They run 4 runs or less.
Well, that's the other thing, because I was telling Mike, I was like, not only man, you do a great job of that, but like the stuff you had here, talking about when the last time guys were playing and stuff. And I was like, yo, man, this is awesome.
That's credit to our SID office. They do. I mean, we get a media guy. Like no other school gives a media guy.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great point.
So when you have information like that, it definitely helps. I mean, I've been here for 3 years with them. So
I think I remember you from like 2 years ago. I just did stats over here, and I remember thinking, yeah, man. I was like, no, you're. Because at the time I was like, I didn't know if you were a student, and then I was like, wow, he's awesome.
No, I actually live here in York. I grew up here in York, and I went to school down in Baltimore for broadcasting. I actually ran state now.
That's awesome.
I got the job at Hopkins out of school, and it just so happens we played 2 regionals here in 3 years.
That's awesome, man.
I live 5 minutes away. So.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm glad you came. I'm glad you're hanging with them. Because, man, this is a blast. I hope at this point, I guess what if they win tomorrow, they're in. That's the way. I'm pretty sure the schedule. If they win their game tomorrow, they're automatically in. Okay, cool. So hope. I mean, we'll see you.
I'll tell you what's tough though. So I don't know if you. I've got to be neutral. This is NCAA like that.
But I'll tell you what. I said to Mike, because Mike, he said to me at one point, he was like, he's like, he does a really good job being like unbiased. Because I said, he's like, people don't listen to him, you know. And I was like, yeah, he's awesome. You don't get high, you don't get low, and you just have information from the teams. You do such a good job, man. That
we have a big movie chat with all of our former players and current players.
Yeah.
They're messaging me during the game, and our senior captain from last year goes, "It's so weird hearing him be biased." I'm just like,
you're like, if ever there was a time to like be a little excited, I think that warrants you guys. But no, man, good.
yeah, our former broadcaster texted me. He's like, "Great job," and I don't know how you say so.
That's awesome. I'll tell you what, man. Yeah, dude, you're fantastic. I just want to let you know. We'll see you this weekend.